Welcome to the Dome in Jackson, New Jersey. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Corey Hammond. And for the first time in what feels like forever, Corey, we're in the same room at the same time here at the Dome. And we are getting ready for the 2025 National Championship. But we got to take a look at the ride we're taking. Each of these teams have taken to the A7FL Championship. They've been here before, Corey. Starting off, you got to enjoy the ride, buy the ticket, take the ride. It's our last ride for the 2025 season. The championship final, we go back to 2016. The Trenton BIC would win their first A7FL Championship against the Chiefs in an iconic game. 2022 would take them a while, Corey, but they would find their way back to the chip. The Las Vegas Insomniacs, a quicker trip for them. In 2023, they walked it off in Bullhead City, shocked the world, shocked the football world, and one more time, they shocked them last year in Asbury Park. But here today in Jackson, New Jersey, who will decide? Who will be next? Who will have their third A7FL championship? The Insomniacs, one game away from a dynasty, but let's take a look. The last time these two teams played was last year's championship, Corey. And both of them were a little shaky behind center, Scott Hamilton and Sterry Codrington.
And both of them in the passing game specifically were a little bit under where you would expect them to be numbers-wise, but both of them in their own way contributed towards a winning effort, whether it was Sterry Codrington with his rushing attempts and rushing yards and rushing touchdown, or from Scooter Hamilton, big guy, getting in there in the Wildcat and providing blocks. But today, I think both of these guys want to prove that last year in this same spot was an aberration, and that this year they've came to throw the ball all over the field. Sterry Codrington has not thrown an interception this season, and just last week, Scott Hamilton set an A7FL record with 8 touchdown passes against the Animals. This is going to be a great game, but two great quarterbacks, and I think both of them expect to have their best game this year right now.
And when we return, we get to the coin toss, we throw it off. BIC Insomniacs 2, next from the Dome. We are back live with the A7FL Championship. During our commercial break, we had the coin toss. Corey Hammond, the defending champions, won the toss, and, well, they deferred to the second half. But it will be the Trenton BIC starting with the ball, and that is a dangerous situation when you have a Shante Worthy back there, and you've got some incredible names, some incredible faces on this BIC team this year. But will it be enough, Corey, to defeat the back-to-back national champions?
Well, I think we're all excited to find out, but it's interesting. This game is going to start off on a 3-on-1 with BIC likely throwing back there. Ashante Hollywood Worthy. It looks like he's stepping onto the field right now. Both of these teams know the importance of the 3-on-1s. No better example than the deciding play likely last year when Danye Lyons himself brought it back to take the lead with only 17 seconds left. There's a lot of history between this rivalry, these two divisions, but I think this instance of 3 defenders on 1 returner may be the deciding factor in today's game.
And when you take a look at our field today, it is a little different. It is not a 100-yard field. Each side will have 35 yards, and when we get to the fourth quarter, we will explain how that affects the throw-off when it comes to the get-back, which is a rule that's in its 2nd season, and we'll have more on that later. But, Corey, how does this field affect everything as we see the Insomniacs getting ready to throw things off here from the dome?
Well, Matt, especially on the 3-on-1, it means that 1 missed tackle could be points. And a star in 2 weeks ago's Final Four game, Williams Carswell, 0-0, will be the throw-off guy. We see the kind of impact that he was able to have against the Animals, but there's Ashante Worthy, and the back of his jersey says it all. Matt, we're ready for the throw-off.
You can feel the electricity in the air here. The ball is up. Carswell throws it. That'll be returned by Worthy. Worthy will get near the 10. He will get to the 30. He will bounce towards the 30-yard line. And a solid start for Worthy in the BIC.
And a solid stop there, because as dangerous as these returners are, that's going to be an important part of today's game, like I said.
Are you an online creator or business owner managing oceans of live and recorded video? Are you looking to better optimize and monetize those assets? Scene helps you get complete control of your video content, organize inventory, and maximize monetization with shoppable prompts and ads at optimum times to generate and increase revenue. See it in action at A7FL.tv and learn about the next level of video commerce and social video scaling at Scene. That's SEEN.com. Sterry Codrington looking to make a scene-worthy play. Corey Hammond. You see A.J. McQuaig.
Trips to the top of the screen, looking to set up the quick screen and easy plays to start.
To hand off to Campbell off the screen. Campbell will get a gain of about 6, and it will be second and real short, Corey.
Start the game off with a jet sweep. Now, that is a pass because it's forward, giving Kason Campbell yet another mark on his already record-breaking season, but it's a great way to start when your BIC tests the edge of the defense. See if you can get there, because it could set up for plays later, Matt. And
Kason Campbell holds almost every conceivable record except yards in a game. That came when Enrico Brown had over 300 yards exactly against the Baltimore Watchmen in the 2023 Eastern Conference Finals. 2nd and 3, 13:52 left to go in our first quarter. Worthy in motion, the snap. Codrington has time, throws it underneath. That's up to number 15. They'll get the first down and more. That's Trey Cohen, April's only son, with the first down.
There was a rub route concept in the middle of the field, but unfortunately looks like a holding call against BIC is going to take that first down and back them up from what was 2nd and 3 to about 2nd and 13. Matt, these penalties are going to play huge, but you see the athleticism from wide receivers for BIC on display there.
And now it was a hold, I believe, on Markai Gilly, number 56, on the offensive line. You see Skylar Lash among that on the offensive line alongside Carnell Wachter. And Skylar Lash, number 18. He's got the task of dealing with A.J. McQuaig. Man in the bandana coming off the edge. Worthy sets up to the left of Codrington. 2nd and 13. The handoff to Worthy. Ashante Worthy gets brought down after a moderate gain. Will get them back to the initial line of scrimmage, and it will be 3rd down.
That's a great tackle from Chris Mouth McWilliams this year. He's basically fully recovered from a bad ankle injury, I believe. And you could see there, Ashante Worthy not normally given the ball on a handoff from the running back position. He's better in the open space, but credit the defensive line of the Insomniacs covering every available hole, forcing him into the middle, corralling him, and a short gain leading to 3rd and 11 for this BIC offense on their first drive of the game.
After a penalty, almost cost the BIC a first down. That's 3rd and long to throw to Campbell. Campbell has to reel it in, has to magic his way, gets back to the line of scrimmage, lost yards on the play, and it'll be 4th down for the BIC. The Insomniacs defense putting the BIC offense on their back foot after the penalty. And now...
And that was William Carswell, not only on the coverage, not a bad throw from Sterry Codrington, good catch from Kason Campbell, but really the play is made here and not allowing the yards after the catch. If Kason Campbell gets 3 or 4 yards, that makes this a 4th and manageable. Matt, they're going to go for it, but it's 4th and about 9 or 4th and about 8. That's way too long, especially on this first drive.
Mark Bagway now in at wide receiver at the top of, he will be at the top of your screen. Codrington staring down the defense.
And it looks like he's facing a 4-man rush.
Codrington will have to take one man on his own. Codrington throws it, one-handed, Worthy looking for the flag, will not get it, and it is Cladanye Lyons on the stop, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Insomniacs.
And Danye Lyons had tight coverage, but there was room if Sterry Codrington throws the ball in front of Ashante Worthy. The ball is thrown behind him, and this is exactly what the Insomniacs want if they're playing defense. Keep Sterry Codrington in the pocket and force him to be extremely accurate when he needs to be. The ball is just too far behind Ashante Worthy to make the play, and Danye Lyons knocks it away to force a turnover on downs in a 1st and 10 for the Insomniacs with only 31 yards to go for a score.
Watch the bottom of your screen. Mark Bagway on Davic Clark. Scott Hamilton sends out number 28.
That looks like juice.
That's Richard Washington. Hamilton throws it to Washington. Can't get there, and that will be incomplete.
I'm going to be honest, I saw a little bit of contact from Deontay Henderson. Now, there's 2 guys there that are not normally on a deep post route, whether route for Juice or in coverage for Deontay Henderson. I think both of those guys kind of got tangled up. To me, little bit of contact, but there is a no call on 1st down, which will force the 2nd and 10.
10:38 left to go in our first quarter. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And it'll be RTC in the backfield. Questions whether he was going to be able to play in this game. He did arrive in a boot, but that's just the warrior he is. He's in on 2nd down.
Scott Hamilton also walking in with some injuries. The handoff, RTC Wilkerson to the outside will get the 1st down.
And not bad for just one wheel on the RTC. RTC, by the way, is the public transportation in Vegas, making its way on a plane all the way, just a flat tire 1st down from one of the best running backs in our league, just gutting it out.
In his glasses, just finds a way to get the 1st down. Might be the best running back in the A7FL.
And it's because he's behind an offensive line that gave him the room. That's going to be a key matchup. Offensive line for Insomniacs, defensive line for BIC, but 1st and 10. Not much to go for the champs.
Coming off the edge, gets after Hamilton. Davic Clark gets in there. He beat Mark Bagway. Clark will get his 1st touchdown of the game, and the BIC down 6-0 with 9:33 left to go in the 1st.
Just a simple fade route to Davic Clark. Gets the inside step, outside release on Mark Bagway, and Mark Bagway is one of the best athletes.
It looks like this might have been brought back. We'll see what the call is.
Well, I'll just talk about what we know. Olay was in there.
Oh, is he in bounds? Oh, he's in.
He's well in. He was wide open, and the ball was placed exactly where it needs to be. Timothy Davic Clark.
There was a foul on the defense. That will be declined. The touchdown will stand. 6-0 Insomniacs. The defending national champions have dictated the pace early in the BIC on the back foot.
And early, for that to go the way it did, somebody's going to have to cover Davic Clark, because they also have to cover Eric Munchie, who's going to be at the top of your screen. Great throw from Scott Hamilton. He's been on a roll.
Schuford with Washington and Clark, the pressure. Hamilton gets it, and it will be 7-0 with 9:33 left to go. Scott Hamilton not letting an injury deter him, and Eric Schuford looking to say he's the most valuable player in the league. When we return, the BIC look to get back on the board. The BIC with the down. Can the Insomniacs keep the momentum? We'll find out. It's the 2025 A7FL Championship. We are live. Ashante Worthy feeling the weight of the A7FL Eastern Conference on his shoulders. Back-to-back championships, the Insomniacs strike first, and right now, Bill Carswell up top God. And this Insomniac defense. And
at least the story in those first two drives for me, Matt, we talked about it at the top of the show. Quarterbacks. BIC's has been inaccurate. They go 4 and out. Scott Hamilton, very accurate. They're up 8-0.
Returns it from inside the end zone. Tries to cut through one seam. Gets around one defender. Puts another on his heels. The up-top God has to touch the grass. But that is not a touchdown, but it gets BIC back to midfield. Ashante Worthy not shirking the spotlight. Looking to get into the end zone, but good field position, Corey.
Well, certainly fun return. But exactly what the Insomniacs want. They just don't want points on the board. And yeah, he makes the first tackler miss, but credit Pugh and Carswell to make sure that this doesn't turn into an equalizer. Yes, he has the balance and the strength and the acceleration to make you look a little silly back there, but as long as he doesn't score points on those plays, the Insomniacs walk off to the sideline, thankful that they're facing the BIC offense and not an extra point.
Trey Robinson and Dave Valley in for the first time today. Robinson pushes through the pile, will gain around 5. It'll be second down.
Tough yards from the former Vegas player, a former Insomniac champion who has really stood out in the run game this year for BIC. His importance in this game can't be minimized. But again, Sterry Codrington, when he has an opportunity, has to show that he can be accurate in the air because they're playing a spy on him defensively. And that might be the key to this game for the Insomniacs defense.
Matt Kenny shouting some instructions from the sideline. Lash, Valley, Markai, Gilly.
And this certainly is the run formation for BIC. Basically 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, and a good offensive line to boot.
The handoff to Robinson again, met at the line, and it will be third down.
And that's number 80, Chris Cunningham, who's playing defensive tackle right now and is silently dominating the line of scrimmage. He flexes both of his arms because that plays on him, and once again, it's third and a lot longer than BIC expected.
Shannon Allen will swap in. And you see McWilliams, the BIC huddle, they're going over stuff on the sideline. Matt Kenny yelling at Mouth McWilliams.
Now, they already went for it on 4th down, so when you look at it as third and about 6, really, if they're going to go for it on 4th down, they just need to get to about, 4th and 2, 4th and 3 for it to be manageable. And they might want to do that with Sterry Codrington on the ground.
The hand of Codrington throws it. Kason Campbell gets the ball. Campbell to the sideline, and he will get a first down for the BIC. And the man who has had the most focus on him all season, they call that boy KK, gets the first down for Trenton.
And that specific play, Sterry Codrington missed a bunch of times last year. Wide open, Kason Campbell over the middle. This time, he does not miss, and BIC is in the hurry up.
At the line, yeah, sorry about that, Corey. We actually are in the at the dome, so we could see they jumped the line.
Yes, 1st and goal from about the 4-yard line. Those big plays are going to mean scoring chances, but the shorter field actually sometimes isn't as easy to score on as you might think.
Bone Harris also out there flat.
Especially if that's a penalty on BIC.
Ooh. Dave Valley, the big boss man, getting inside the head of number 4, Moses Smith.
And Moses Smith is one of those rookies for the Insomniacs that has had a very good season, but I don't think he's ever faced an offensive lineman like Dave Valley.
The big boss man who was almost single-handedly a reason why the BIC won the championship. The ice cream truck and Trey Robinson will run out. 1st and goal. Looked like it might have been jumping the line by the defense.
And this is going to be men's football right here. Everyone that runs a 4.9 or under can stay on the sideline for this one.
Thick boy season in the A7FL. Codrington will hand it off to Robinson, and Trey Robinson will push through the pile, and the former Insomniacs, looking to put the former champions to sleep, makes it 6-0.
And you can see the animosity between everybody involved, but the first 90% of that play, the Insomniacs won it. But the heart of their former player and Trey Robinson pushing past the goal goal line is what ended up leading to a score. And we
the
see
ice cream truck and the energy here in the dome can be cut with a machete, Corey Hammond.
Yeah, and everybody there wanted nothing to do with allowing the other one's will to prevail. That time, Trey Robinson's will prevailed, and everybody wanted to get in on the shoving match.
Robinson getting the fruit from the loom as it is 8-6.
But just like on the previous touchdown for the Insomniacs, a penalty led to an easier option for the offense to convert the two-point conversion. Maybe the penalty here gives another easier championship point opportunity to the team that scored, this time for the team in blue, BIC, looking to match this game at 8-8.
8-6 your score. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond for the A7FL National Championship. We are live from the Dome in Jackson, New Jersey. Players, fans, dignitaries from all across the A7FL saw David Tender right before we went live. RTU. Keith Salmons is here joining us, and also former A7FL champion Corey Price. Saw him walking around earlier. Codrington looking to tie this game up. Codrington hit as he throws, and there's a flag, and the BIC may get another chance.
Not sure who this is going to be on. If it is on the Insomniacs, that is a potentially really bad penalty, Matt. And shouts to Big Rob, who is not here. But the reason these are called championship points is a lot of times these tight games between two tough opponents, I'm not sure what the penalty is there.
I think it might have just been hitting Sterry after the throw.
It's either that or a little bit of extra talk after the fact, but giving them another opportunity at 2 from the 2.5-yard line.
Or arguing about what to order from the Dome here, either the pierogies or the empanadas.
Well, we have not yet got the Chewbacca defense, but I think that was definitely a consternation back in the backfield. Talking about maybe what the best 1989 country song was.
Codrington will keep it, but he will be stopped and stifled. It'll stay 8-6. The math did not math there, and the BIC will stay behind, but a solid right hook to get the momentum more closer to the middle. 8-6. And if you want to get the A7, we'll take a look at the replay here. Codrington got swam.
Yeah, they just missed blocks when you only need 2.5 yards. Now, they're going quarterback draw, so they were hoping that the Insomniacs would honor the pass more, but that time, not good enough blocking. And we're going to see that's Jamie Melendez.
The man formerly known as the man known as Salsa, right now looking to make the field a little chunky for.
And it'll be Dwan Williams throwing off, and Trey Cohen will get the other side. But it's Danye Lyons in his first opportunity against BIC since breaking their hearts approximately 365 days ago.
Scan to QR. Oh, never mind. Go to tpg-sports.com. That's tpg-sports.com, where it's always effort over excuses. And now the effort instead of an excuse on the 3-on-1 turn for the defending national champions. Cohen tries to get it on the stop. That is number 23. That is Danye Lyons. Danye Lyons off to the races. Slip slide. Take it to the house.
And that initial missed tackle from Trey Cohen, Dwan Williams trying to play safety, a position that he knows how to play, but he doesn't have the speed. And as soon as Danye Lyons turns on the Jets, this shorter field, it turns against BIC and in favor for the Insomniacs, going up 14-6, 6:23 left.
But that also gets that BIC defense, that BIC offense back on the field, and that Insomniacs defense, who had to deal with the running game back out there, Corey. It is 14-6. We are barely out of the 8-minute mark. We're barely into the 8-minute mark here in our first quarter, and we have seen 3 scores, and Danye Lyons blowing a kiss, throwing up the deuce, and saying Baba Booey, touchdown Insomniacs.
Against BIC just in separate years.
Go for the extra point into the replay, and they will not get it. David Clark will not get in there, so it will remain 14-6. 6:23, pardon me, left to go in the first. When we return, the BIC look to return in kind. Can they get a score on an on-time down? 14-6, more next. Get taped up like a pro. From Tape Me Up, professional athletic training services to athletes of all sports and ages. Find out more at tapemeup.net. That's tapemeup.net, or scan the QR code now. Danye Lyons scored on the 3-on-1 throw-off. The Insomniacs not able to get the extra point. Worthy will return this one in the end zone. Worthy tries to make the man miss, cuts through two, will have to get through it, and Ashante Worthy stands up, pushes him off, Ashante Worthy cuts through one more time, and that is why they call that man Hollywood. He gets suplexed, and he bounces up like Kurt Angle in TNA, because he will not be denied. First down, BIC.
Well, that is the most exciting play in sports. We saw Danye Lyons take advantage of an opportunity, and then that was done with speed. This is just pure strength, balance, and tenacity, because there's no reason that Ashante Worthy shouldn't be on the ground right now. But that man has the strength of an animal that wants to get past you. And if you're going to come there and bring that type of energy, he's still going to keep fighting. Credit Juice for making a tackle at the end, but credit Ashante Worthy even more for what a spectacular return we just witnessed.
He just got freestyled. That's 1 point in the NCAA. Trey Robinson on the toss. Robinson held up by Valley. That'll be first and 10, leading to 2nd and 9.
And you can see the Insomniacs are selling out on the run. And that time, even though Dave Valley is on the field to block, there is nowhere to go in the run game. You see RTC out there playing defensive line, but that was a collective win for the Insomniacs on first down to bring up 2nd and 8.
5:24 and counting. If this is the first time you've ever watched the A7FL, hello, you're welcome. Locked in.
Where you been?
Exactly. Codrington staring down Reeves and this Insomniacs defense. 2nd and 8, 5:10 left to go. The handoff to Robinson. Robinson swings around, sings down. Will get a light gain. I think I saw a flag. And Robinson getting roughed up by Reeves and Shannon Allen. It'll be 3rd and about 5.
Tough yards from Trey Robinson there. Good block on the edge from number 6, Q Bell, to seal it. But the hesitation to invite the contact from Trey Robinson, I believe, kept him from getting the edge. And it'll bring up about 3rd and 5. And
Courage Mosey coming in now for the BIC.
You saw it.
Worthy will walk off.
Credit prime there. Number 21, Jeremy Rivas, making the tackle. This Insomniacs team came to play run defense, but it's 3rd and 5 from about the 6-yard line.
And we are with 4:20 left to go. Courage Mosey, Codrington keeps it. Kason Campbell, touchdown, BIC. Oh!
And Kason Campbell gets in Will Carswell's face, but really it's the throw, because the play action freezes the middle of the defense, and that cross route, which has always been open for Kason Campbell, is this time completed by Sterry Codrington. All he has to do is just make sure he keeps his eyes downfield, puts the ball in front of his receiver, and Kason just holds onto it for dear life. And if BIC can get to 2 here, it's a tie ball game here at Jackson, New Jersey.
The Mark Bagway will now come in for the BIC. They are to the line. Bagway, 14-12 your score. Codrington under center, flag on the play. False start on the offense, so they will have to go for 2, pardon me.
For 1 from the 10.
1 from the 10.
And it's
so they are not trying to, weren't trying to tie, they were trying to go for 1.
Now, it's interesting that that's the look they go for, because to be honest, Matt, when they had a chance for 2 from the 2.5-yard line, they were stopped. So now they go false start. It'll be a 1-point conversion from the 10. And look, Sterry Codrington's going to have to win this game most of the time, throwing the ball accurately to these receivers that are getting open. So we see Courage in the backfield, likely as one of the best blocking backs in the history of the A7 to help him out with that. But he can't just look for runs here on these championship points.
Q Bell at the top of your screen. Codrington underneath, cannot get it to Courage Mosey or Q Bell. So that will be 14-12, a 2-point lead. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, go to Locker Room Chat. But if you want a custom A7FL uniform, go to tpg-sports.com. That's tpg-sports.com. Scan the QR code now. Get yourself a custom jersey for you, your team, or your A7FL fan. A7FL's official partner, TPG Sports, where it's effort over excuses. Mark Bagway and Matt Riddick walking alongside Kason Campbell. They are not looking to let that happen
They
again.
are not messing around when you bring out two former MVP-type caliber players in this league. Just for the 3-on-1. The other guy, by the way, is record-setting wide receiver and the guy who just scored the touchdown, Kason Campbell. That's how dangerous Danye Lyons has been against BIC. Like I said, he's gone back-to-back, Matt, even though they haven't been in the same calendar year on 3-on-1 returns. Here's his chance at a back-to-back-to-back.
Mark Bagway launches this one, and that one will almost hit our cameraman. And that one will see Danye Lyons walk off the field in our first real dealing with the unique length of our field today. The width is a traditional A7FL width, and also you see the fans here inside the dome. It is loud, it is packed in here. You can feel the energy throughout the dome.
A7FL veterans, legends. Hey, even Kelvin the ref. Hey, Kelvin. It's a packed house today, packed crowd.
Gerald DePaul, the literal father of the A7FL, joining us.
I'll say between the sidelines, there's tons of names too, Matt. None bigger, both I think literally and metaphorically, than a guy who's on a 9-0 run, touchdowns in the past couple of quarters. But here they come out with two running backs.
The hand off the screen, and that one
that might be backwards. They haven't blown the whistle yet.
And that one will go out of play, and that was intended for Richard Washington. It'll be 2nd and more than 10 for the defending champions.
That great run from RTC on the first drive for the Insomniacs does allow him to become a potential distraction when he's in. And having a decoy like an RTC means that the defense has to honor it. But right there, I think was the first sign, Matt, that Scooter Hamilton dealing with a little bit of an issue. We won't go into too much of the specifics because he doesn't want it to be that way. But that RPO is incomplete. And it was a backward pass, Matt, 2nd and 17.
The snap, the handoff. Washington almost gets stripped. The ball comes loose. If not, he gets brought down. And Olayne Bell looking for his first A7FL championship. He gets him down, and it will be 3rd and a lot near in the end zone, Corey. The BIC defense has woken up.
Yeah, and it's you first see here, that's Deontay Henderson, who has been making a lot of close plays. He's just got to wrap up, but that initial penetration and pressure from the linebacker position allows the defensive end and defensive tackle to rally and make the play in the backfield, bring it up 3rd and 18, a much-needed time for Scott Hamilton to find one of his receivers potentially wide open.
Snap, Hamilton facing pressure, throws underneath.
That's Munchie.
Eric Schuford will get the first down, but Mark Bagway almost got the pick, but almost let Munchie go to the house.
I'm going to be honest, Matt, almost doesn't count. And the rush almost tipped the pass. Mark Bagway almost covered Munchie, and it almost was tackled before the first down. But guess what? Eric Schuford, he will have none of that. Gets open enough, uses his body to catch, knows exactly where he needs to get the first down. You can see his eyes on the first down marker. What a great conversion for the Insomniacs offense when their backs were literally against their own end zone. See a little conversation here from the refs. Resetting the sticks.
It'll be 1st and 10. Ball will be placed at the 28-yard line.
Kels Gallimore on
pressure.
Shufford.
Hamilton throws underneath to Wilkerson. Wilkerson will get past the tacklers. He will get stopped by Matt Riddick. A flag on the play.
There's 2 flags. There was a flag early, which likely is a holding or clipping in the backfield. The late flag, I'm not sure what it was. Could be offsetting, Matt.
It could be. It could have been a wrap, but it looked like Matt Riddick went for a wrap. I'm not sure.
Well, he got in the way. He did get pushed out of the way, but you see the first tackle there. The first flag there. Kevin White almost makes the tackle.
He makes the attempt to wrap. He just he has RTC running at him.
Yeah.
Offsetting penalty, so it will be it'll be 1st down. We'll run it back. We'll reset off the offsetting penalties.
But you see, even though he's clearly got a hairline fracture on one of those feet, Matt, with the flat tire, the RTC keeps on trucking. We'll see how long he can last at this level of output.
Eric Schuford now in the backfield.
They're also going back stack with RTC at about the 16-yard line on the wing.
Matt Riddick Watching David Clark,
screen.
that one hit the ground. That one will be called incomplete. They will say it hit the ground.
Yeah, and the Animals saw that play go for 6. And the key there is the blocking in front of the rocket screen, but when you don't complete it outside, David Clark can't do anything, brings up 2nd and 10.
And right now, Corey, both of these teams back and forth. Neither team has had the momentum for too long. It's been the first quarter, but it feels like we played a full half.
Yeah, and it's just exactly what you would expect from these two championship-level teams.
The snap, the toss to Wilkerson. Wilkerson met, almost brought down. He's met by Henderson and Ramadan. That will not be enough for a first, but a gain of about 7.
Yeah, RTC solo on any corner in the league, Matt, is a bad news situation for the corner. And he makes the first man miss, but that's Deontay Henderson, the Tampa product, playing sideline to sideline, and he eventually makes the play here. Look, Kels Gallimore, love you, bro. That's not a winning matchup for you.
But he does
do enough to give Deontay Henderson the chance. Matt, looks like that's the quarter.
And that will be the end of the first quarter. The Insomniacs with the lead. 14-12 is your score. At the end of 15 minutes, we've got 45 more of this championship fight. We'll be back with your second quarter in just a moment. If you got a friend that loves football and they're not watching this, what are you doing? Send them the link. More football next. The A7FL Championship is brought to you by GatorTech. Get more protected on the field with the Gator Skin Shiesty, shown to reduce concussion risk by up to 79%. Now, the Insomniacs looking to show that Juice Washington on 3rd down. He gets sent to the sideline. And if you want to see if you want to rock what Juice is rocking, GatorTech.com, GatorTech.com. Use the code A7FL25 for 10% off.
We needed to get GatorTech in, but I saw it. That's a play call and a play that the Insomniacs love to run. Eric Shuford, wide receiver, comes into crack motion. Then they go down, kick out with offensive linemen that can get in front. The only man that can make the play is the corner, but it just so happens to be 6'5" Mark Bagway, who puts his entire shoulder into it and brings up 4th and 5.
4th down.
Good 4.
4th and 4. The snap, the pressure underneath, and that will be Shuford, and they will get there. It'll be 1st down. The defending champions finding a way to go underneath.
And if you've watched this Insomniac team ever in your life in a meaningful game, when 4th or 3rd and they need it, Scott Hamilton to Eric Shuford is about as automatic as it's going to be. Great play on 3rd down from Mark Bagway, but on 4th down, Shuford's route running ability and Scooter's accuracy are just too much, and that conversion means the Insomniacs are still moving forward, looking to take a bigger lead than they already have with 2.
At midfield, 14-12, just under 90 seconds gone by. The screen, Hamilton will keep it. He is met by Deontay Henderson, and Hamilton, walking into today with an injury, will yeet himself about 8 yards, and it'll be 2nd and short.
And he's good for those, because when you completely leave him alone, he's not necessarily a Steric Codrington looking for the end zone, but the space and the rough tackle at the end. Scooter Hamilton is more than happy to get that first down gain of about 6, which will bring up 2nd and 4, exactly where he wants to work and maybe take a shot here on 2nd down.
The snap, pressure, thrown. Clark can't hold on to it. Matt Riddick gets a hand on it.
Matt Riddick is known for his plays at wide receiver, but that time he makes a plays without looking back at the football, right on David Clark's hands. That's a great defensive play, because David Clark is a man that on that hook and go, a lot of times will score. If Scooter put that ball up in the top shelf for Clark, maybe a better opportunity. But like I said, they're going to take a shot on 2nd and 4, and this is about as good a shot as any. Credit Matt Riddick for getting the ball out of his hands.
Great job, and just Clark also just could not get his hands fully on that ball.
Well-placed ball, honestly, by Scott Hamilton.
3rd and 4, the toss to RTC.
Got
RTC gets the edge, but gets met by Isaac Negron. They will get the first down, and RTC down in pain after the tackle from Negron.
Yeah, and such a tough run. That's the type of attitude that you bring to an A7FL championship if you want to walk away with the hardware. Again, another 3rd and medium, which is where exactly the Insomniacs want to be. But on the toss, the blocks get out in front. H3 Frazier gets sealed. And again, those corners are going to have a really tough time with all 3 of the running backs the Insomniacs have. Make sure that Isaac Negron is the one that makes the play at the end. But it's, again, 1st and 10, ball at the 16-yard line. The Insomniacs really close to another score.
Devontae Carter in now at running back. The pressure, Clark cannot hold on to it. Matt Riddick on him like a brand new fitted suit. And it will be 2nd down.
But there is a penalty in the backfield. Looks like roughing the passer on BIC. So that's going to be half the distance to the goal, but an automatic 1st down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Scooter getting the ball out in time to draw the penalty. Now, the pass looked catchable there from David Clark. Another great play from Matt Riddick. But the penalty will mean 1st and goal for the Insomniacs. Ball at about the 8-yard line. Now, this is one of the negative symptoms, hypothetically, of the shorter field, because this offense, the BIC offense, they can get chunks of yardage, but when you shorten the field and tighten it down, it's really going to be on the trench game. And if the Insomniacs can run the ball, great. But if they get the run stopped, this is a harder place to pass for Scooter Hamilton.
Shuford hands it off to Washington. Washington will bounce.
Breaking
he will
tackles.
battle, but he will get brought down. The ball will bounce out, but they whistle it dead.
That's a tough run from Juice. He broke about 3 tackles to go from a no-yard gain to about a 3-yard gain, which is about as good as you can ask for with the blocking that they had. This is going to be tough football in these types of situations, and both of these teams have come prepared. They go with kind of like an inside reverse type of I don't know, gimmick. No one's fooled. It's just the effort from the running back Juice to get as much as they did. But second and goal from the 5. With a quarterback like Scooter, BIC better get some penetration up front.
10-11 and counting in our first half. The Insomniacs get the ball at halftime. The snap, pressure, Hamilton throws it, intended for Shuford, and that will go out of play, and it will be 3rd down.
It was a designed play action, but instead of faking the handoff, they go quarterback draw action, and it was basically a slant whip combination. The ball really had one path to being a touchdown. It was a perfect throw over Matt Riddick's hands to Eric Shuford. It was a well-run route, pretty good coverage, but the ball sails out of bounds, and it'll bring up 3rd and goal. Scooter Hamilton trots to the sideline. Looks like it's going to be a wildcat situation for the Insomniacs. And the guy starting with the ball is a guy who threw a touchdown last year from the running back position. BIC better watch for Juice throwing it.
Looks like they had Kevin White in the handoff, flag on the play, and that will see Washington get brought down on third down. We'll see what the call is. False start. Illegal formation on the offense. The penalty is declined. It'll be fourth down.
Yeah, that might be a smart decline
timeout
there.
On the field, player down, and
because if they go with the penalty, that's third and goal from the 10, which means there's still 2 chances that the Insomniacs have at the score. That's probably what they wanted. So making the stop, regardless of the penalty,
correction, and to correct, there was an illegal formation on the offense, because the public address announcer, I believe, said.
Yeah, illegal formation, illegal procedure, false start. It's the same movement from the ref, Matt, so you're good there. But now 4th and about 7.
And Hamilton has to come back out. And Bill Carswell, a guy, the up-top guy, we've not seen much of him or Shannon Allen much today.
Not on offense, but on defense and on 3-on-1, he has already, Will Carswell, made big plays. Let's see if he can make the play here on 4th and goal. But if you're looking for the go-to guy from Scott Hamilton on 4th down, it's Eric Schuford.
This throw, and that's incomplete, and the BIC get a stop with their backs against the wall. Mark Bagway and Deontay Henderson might be the secret sauce for the defending Eastern Conference champions.
Carswell's open on the slant, and if it's a perfect pass, it's a touchdown.
And folks, when we return, the BIC get the ball back. It is a long sojourn. Can they burn up the turf? It's the Dome. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Next. Content, live recorded video, find out how at Scene. Scan the QR code now. That's SEEN.com. First down for the BIC. Trey Robinson out there at running back, and he will allow Codrington to keep it. Sterry Codrington will scream down the sideline. Sterry Codrington is off to the races, and he will get bounced out of play near the end zone inside the 10. BIC and Sterry Codrington, Corey, throwing on the afterburners.
And that's what he could do if you give him that edge, and they're selling out on Trey Robinson. But what nobody is prepared for is the explosiveness from Sterry Codrington. Credit Carswell coming all the way across the field to keep it from becoming a touchdown. But that is exactly what BIC is going to want in the running game. They're running enough with Trey Robinson to force the defense to stop him, and then Sterry Codrington is the one that's going to go for the home run.
Robinson back there with Codrington. Codrington talking it over with the line, 1st and goal.
And you see he's setting the protection and or the blocking assignments.
But you also have Campbell and Worthy at the bottom of your screen. What are they going to do on 1st and goal? The toss to Robinson. Robinson will bounce inside, a moderate gain, close to about 5, and it will be 2nd and goal at the 5-yard line.
And that toss is solely on Mouth McWilliams, number 10, making the play on the edge. He's not fast enough to make a play in the backfield, but he is fast enough to get to the edge, force Trey out of bounds. 5-yard gain is what you want on 1st and goal, but the play and the touchdown was saved by Mouth getting out there, showing his acceleration at the DN position.
And both of these teams have been predicated on that play action, just to set up either the big play with the arm, or for Codrington's case, run across the field. And there's the handoff to Campbell. No, it's kept underneath, And Carswell on Worthy, no flag, it'll be 3rd and goal.
Yeah, Danye Lyons on Worthy, and it's a jet action slant. So it's really exactly what BIC wants. That's really tight coverage from Danye Lyons, forcing a tough catch. Now, it maybe was catchable, but you see how well Danye Lyons covers Ashante Worthy. Nobody in this league, and you see how smart he is. He gets inside leverage there. The ball can't really be thrown that much better, but it's still a tough catch for the Hollywood star. Incomplete, bringing up 3rd and goal from the 5.
Campbell in motion. Worthy set up in the slot with Lyons covering him. Codrington to Campbell. Campbell pushes through, tries to get around Carswell.
And it's again Carswell.
That big body on him, and again, we have a 4th and goal, and both of these defenses showing their resolve.
And it's the tough part. Looks like Ashante Worthy's down. Made the block in front of him. We'll see him. Looks like he's not doing too hot.
You know, we'll take a brief timeout. Worthy clutching, doing crunches. Looks like he might be okay. Checking if he's all right, and he will get up. And
well, there's no more games next week, so if he can get back out there, he's definitely going to.
You can see him limping. Not what you want to see for one of the stars of the league, but good to see him up and moving. But it will be 4th and goal. The Insomniacs defense with Lash and Valley out there. You've got Bagway as well. And they got a big line.
And they might go with that back stack, because imagine what a defense has to do stopping Mark Bagway with really only a couple of yards to go. But again, the shortened field has forced these teams to try to play in the phone booth, a little bit more rough and tumble type of football. And so far, these defenses definitely come to play physical football.
5:24 left to go in the half. Codrington with no one behind him. Bagway in motion, 4th and goal. The throw to Campbell, and Kason Campbell will give the Trenton BIC their first lead, 18-14. And now, championship points, Corey. We've called them that these last few years because, as Big Rob Fabian said, they matter in championship games. They need right here, right now, to get at least 1 extra point on the board.
And it's a simple concept. Mark Bagway went in motion, almost forced the defensive ends to freeze, because it could have been a crackback and a run by Sterry Codrington. But Danye Lyons is then forced single coverage on maybe, not saying definitely, but maybe an even better route runner than Ashante Worthy. And Kason Campbell takes advantage of the open space. Accurate throw from Sterry Codrington. Now it's a 2-pointer for Mark Bagway.
At quarterback with Trey Cohen at the bottom of your screen. Bagway on his bicycle. Mark Bagway flings this one to Cohen. He can't hold on to it, so it will remain a 4-point lead with 13 left to go in the half. And right now, Corey, it feels like the BIC have taken the momentum, if not just a little slightly.
Well, they've taken the lead, but where they've failed 3 times, Matt, let's keep track. 3 times they failed to get any points after the touchdown, and those are what we call championship points, because in tight games like this, they matter. And if the Vegas Insomniacs score now, they're automatically in the lead, even if they don't get the extra point.
And if you want to be a part of this, if you want to bring your team, your town to our league, go to A7FL.com/owners. That's A7FL.com/owners. Join the UFC of football. Get into the game. A7FL.com/owners.
And this is the first time we're going to see Allen, known as Prime.
Shannon Primetime Allen, who has been an emphatic weapon at the return position and also as a wide receiver, but we will not see him run that back as Mark Bagway, the man with a rocket launcher for an arm.
That's an emphatic weapon. We saw how impactful it is when a guy has an opportunity to put on points on the board without taking any seconds off on the 3-on-1. But the last 2 times, Mark Bagway's let it rip from that position of 3-on-1 throw-off. They've been out of play and force the Insomniacs onto the field with no points. Plenty of time left on the clock, and their offense needing to drive the field.
They will start from the 15-yard line. Hamilton on the screen. Matt Riddick covering David Clark, the break, and David Clark screams down the sideline. He will have no one catching him, and just like that, unlike Jay Diaz, we want to see this one again. 20-18, Insomniacs lifting them up to where they think they belong. A 6-point lead over the BIC.
And that's Clark's second touchdown of the day. Exactly the opposite concept. This time, get it to him quick, get some blockers out in front. Eric Schuford there seals it. I think that's Schwenk out there on Kells. And I believe that's the nightmare, Kenny Mack, getting out to the third level on H3 Frazier. And that subtle push gives David Clark, with his speed and athleticism, enough of a seam to turn that real quick screen into points for his team.
And I feel like I have to say, I said David Clark. I believe his mom or someone who is someone in the Clark family just said it's Davic, not Davic. Luciano now in for the extra point. Sky high ball, cannot get there. And that will be incomplete, and that will keep it a 2-point game with 4:51 left to go. When we return, it's another runtime down. Can the BIC score their first untimed touchdown of the day? We'll find out on the other side of this. 20-18 to scoring, and the pace is hot. Stay with us. The A7FL Championship is brought to you by TPG Sports. Want to see the gear you wear on the field? Scan the QR code to get yourself a custom athletic uniform for athletes of all sports and ages. You can get a custom A7FL uniform or uniform for your team by scanning the QR code or going to tpg-sports.com.
Back to receive the BIC is
Kason Campbell will receive the throw-off from Carswell, and that one will be a returnable ball inside the end zone. Kason Campbell gets through two, cannot get through the third. Tried to pull a Mark Bravaro and carry them to the end zone, but that will see them at the near the 25-yard line.
And both of these teams have had answers all day so far, Matt. Eventually, this game is going to come down to the adjustments that each team makes to what their opponent is doing, whether it's offensive or defensively. So far, both of these teams have remained relatively balanced, but it's been the passing games, both quarterbacks finding ways to attack the defense and create openings. For the Insomniacs right now, they cannot play back on their heels and let Sterry Codrington get comfortable throwing the ball, but it's Ice Cream Truck that comes in at running back. They might be, BIC, looking to establish the run.
Campbell has some space. Codrington keeps it. Codrington again will get a light gain, a gain of about 5, but he will be chased out of the end zone.
That's Jeremy Rivas, goes sideline to sideline, makes the play. Sterry Codrington could have had a seam there. Great block from Ice Cream Truck on the edge. You saw Dave Valley getting in front. I think it was the other lineman on that side, Kwack, who just missed, sealing the edge from Reeves. But that's a good 4-yard gain on first down.
Looks like it'll be marked 2nd and 7. BIC need to get near the 35.
Tons of space on Kason Campbell.
Cohen in motion. He will take the screen. Trey Cohen will screen down the field. He will bounce back up, and he will not be deterred. Brought down by J.J. Pugh, number 26.
Now, really, if anybody's going to make the play on that, it's Moses Smith, the defensive end.
That was Thompson. That was Thompson, not Pugh. Thompson.
Because you see here on the jet action, there's nobody really even in the frame for Kason Campbell. He can go second level, seal it. And you see the trailer, number 4, Moses Smith. That's a really tough ask on a guy like Trey Cohen with the explosiveness that he has. But again, BIC scheming themselves a first down with basically just alignment. And they'll come out here on 1st and 10 with trips. Worthy and Campbell.
Courage Mosey, a tight end. He will declare himself eligible. The snap by Codrington, thrown to Campbell. Campbell will get the first down, and he will drag the up-top god to the sideline before another German suplex. And it'll be another first down.
Carswell's playing a good game, especially on the defensive side. But that crossing route in the trips when it's just single coverage, if Sterry Codrington throws it accurately like he does here, there's really not much any defender is going to be able to do against that, because if you're super tight on it, you're really giving up a potentially dangerous play down in the other side of the field. 1st and 10, BIC again.
They stay with the trips, but timeout called by the Insomniacs. That'll be their first charge timeout. They really needed to call the timeout there, especially if they're going to burn it before the 2-minute warning.
One of the things the Insomniacs have to figure out is how they're going to put pressure on Sterry Codrington without allowing a huge run play. When Sterry Codrington's completely comfortable back there, he's more likely to throw an accurate pass. And say what you want about how tight the coverage has been for the Insomniacs so far, there's still open receivers down the field if Codrington can be accurate. So the way that you force a quarterback into inaccuracy is with pressure. But then that's a dual-edged sword, Matt, because if you try to get pressure on him and miss, he could hurt you for 6 with his legs. It's going to be one of the chess matches that not only the D-line, but Coach James Bergwan is going to have to do, whether it's calling plays, whether it's calling formations, or whether it's the way he's coaching his defensive linemen to go after the elusive Sterry Codrington.
Worthy and Codrington will speak. Trey Cohen out there, Courage Mosey along with Kason Campbell.
Yeah, there's nobody there to cover Courage Mosey if he goes out for a pass. It might have to be on Moses Smith, the rookie lineman. I don't think he knows about Courage's game.
Codrington on 1st and 10. Snaps the ball, fakes the screen, throws it underneath to Campbell. Kason Campbell will get smothered, covered by McQuaig, and it looks like Shuford. So it'll be 2nd and 10. 2nd and 8, pardon me.
Not exactly what you're going for.
And that'll be the 2-minute warning. Corey, finish your point real quick.
Not exactly what you're going for if you're BIC, but you'll take 2 yards. Great open field tackle from the Insomniacs.
When we return, we will wrap up the first half. Can the BIC take the lead back before halftime? Or the Insomniacs get another stop? We'll find out after this. Be a part of the conversation on the official Conversation app of the A7FL. Drop a comment, get a shout out. Download Locker Room Chat today by scanning the QR code or go to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat. Matt Ryan, Corey Hammond with you at the 2-minute warning. It's 1st and 10 for the BIC. Pardon me, it's 2nd and 8 for the BIC after the 2-minute warning. Empty backfield for Codrington. Snap, throws it. That's intended for Bone Harris, and it'll be 3rd down. And Harris, like, I know, I screwed that one up.
Well, it was also a dangerous decision from Sterry Codrington because the guy covering the tight end, basically playing a linebacker safety hybrid, is Eric Shuford, who has one of the best hands maybe in this game. The fact that that wasn't wide open means that they did their scouting report on Bone. But again, that easy potential play not covering him, completely stopped by the Insomniacs. And again, we're in a 3rd and 8 situation, but the way the Insomniacs are playing inside the box, they're either having the quarterback spied with one of the linebackers, and what their decision is that they're going to play single coverage on these wide receivers. We'll see how it plays out, Matt.
On the snap on 3rd and 8, Codrington in trouble, flag on the field, throws to the end zone, caught Trey Cohen.
We'll see if it's an illegal procedure penalty, and it is. That's coming back.
And that is not what you want if you're the BIC.
The motion got a little messy. I think guys went a little early, and the only question was whether it was the Insomniacs defensive line going early or, yeah, they weren't set long enough before the motion. Everybody's moving, and that's going to be a touchdown taken back.
It'll be 3rd.
But you see how dangerous Sterry Codrington is there when he's got the space.
And there you see Moses Smith. This Insomniacs defense plays with an intensity that you can see why they've been so dominant. Minute 48, and under 2 minutes in the A7FL in the 2nd and 4th quarters. The clock does stop on incompletes and also runs out of bounds, and Trey Cohen will stay inbounds before he's brought down. And a little extra credit, Shannon Allen. And
there's
Ashante
the
Worthy
defense.
Standing up for his guy, Mr. 3 and out. That's Vincent Thompson getting a little testy as conversation and consternation take place here inside the dome.
And there's the chess match. They're having to play spy on Sterry Codrington, so you can't cover the cross route. And if it's a wide open guy and it's an accurate throw, there's nothing that the Insomniacs are going to be able to do except for keep it from becoming a touchdown. Now, credit Allen for just finishing the play. He didn't know the play was definitely over, but that little extra effort at the end is going to make it even closer for BIC with half the distance to the goal. But 1st and goal for BIC after converting the 3rd and 13.
For me, I think right there they were more distracted by the Halo machine.
Yes.
They were. That's why Shannon Allen continued with that play, because he saw the Halo machine. It's like, ooh, and then realized, oh, he's out of bounds.
Well, and what the spy guy, Eric Schufert, saw was Sterry Codrington potentially running for the 1st down, and he can't then cover that middle zone as a linebacker, which means that crossing route from Trey Cohen is wide open. Really, all Sterry Codrington has to do on those types of plays is make sure he gets the ball in front of his receiver, and that's how you convert 3rd and 13. Bringing up 1st and goal.
Ice Cream Truck will set himself at the top of the line. The handoff to Robinson. Robinson will bounce. He will pow. And he will get brought down within the 1 yard line. Some people want to see Courage Mosey, but a smart move there at 2nd down. The clock continuing to run down. I think the BIC want to end this quarter with the ball and not give Insomniacs 2 straight chances.
Yeah, I don't
score.
love when teams don't put points on the board when they're there. Trey Robinson really needs to attack and try to force a missed tackle from Jeremy Rivas, who was there to fill. Credit the Insomniacs for forcing him forward to look for the cutback, but that close to the end zone, Trey Robinson knows better than to just follow his nose and get in. That's why people behind us were asking for Courage, the legend.
Codrington on 2nd down. Worthy will get it on the toss. Worthy will see the blockers fall around him, and he will get stopped at the yard marker, the yard line, and it will be 3rd and goal at basically the goal line.
And the defensive end there, I didn't see who the number was that forced the cutback. Ashante Worthy, if he gets the edge here, is fast enough to beat anybody in a foot race. But you see there, it's Schufert that forces the cutback, and it's Schufert and Danye Lyons that make the play at the goal line, 3rd and goal.
The handoff, Campbell just too fast, and the BIC with 22 seconds left cross the Rubicon one more time and take back the lead, but it's still only 4 points.
Unintended consequences of the stops on 1st and 2nd and goal. The clock evaporates away and gives BIC the lead with now only 22 seconds for the Insomniacs to answer. We've seen what can happen, Matt, on an untimed down and a 3-on-1. But these extra points, we call them championship points. This one's going to be a 2-point attempt from the 10. It's Ashante Worthy that goes into the huddle to start this play.
And it seems like there might be a challenge. we're trying to see that they can challenge that.
Well, the ruling was a completed pass, his third touchdown of the game for Kason
And
Campbell.
it looks like we're going to...
And it'll be 2 points from the 10, Matt Ashante Worthy.
Worthy in trouble. Worthy slips, slides, and he is brought down.
A.J. McQuaig there to corral him up. He made the play on the last 2 point against Mark Bagway. 24-20, Matt. 22 left.
And we will stay with you as the action continues. We will ride with it until the end of the first half.
We haven't seen Mark Bagway yet, Matt. We haven't seen him score a touchdown. We saw him make a big hit on defense. But maybe the most impactful plays from Mark Bagway are his ability with the arm strength to throw the ball out of the end zone and erase an opportunity from the talented returners for the Insomniacs.
And a correction of the game clock, it's allegedly, we have 22. And according to the referees, it is 19. We will wait to see, and it is correct, 22 seconds. Mark Bagway will throw it off. You can see us up on your screen. Hi, how's it going? Hi. Bagway will throw it off with 22 seconds left to go on an untimed down.
This one's returnable.
This one is returnable.
That's prime.
Shannon Allen will be met by Matt Riddick, Trey Cohen, and Mark Bagway, and he will be brought down at midfield.
That's a good return. It gives his team a chance. And now with the short field, 22 seconds is real feasible with 2 timeouts, Matt.
It certainly is. What will the Insomniacs do? RTC and Hamilton, despite walking into today not 100%. I don't know if anybody on this field is 100% after this season.
Yeah, an A7FL season's long, arduous. Somebody better cover RTC over here in the back stack.
Zaire Hancock had him spied, but it looks like the BIC will call their first timeout. Not an unwise move with 22 seconds.
Bad, smart move from Kenny Stansberry, coach, manager, aura, master of BIC. You see Tom Mascaro walking out there to talk about it. 35 yards, more than feasible. You get 2 plays, you got 2 timeouts. They could even run the ball, Matt, if they choose to. But really what, to me, this game is going to come down to is which of these groups of defensive backs is going to be able to make a play when it's one-on-one chances. So far, the wide receivers have dominated this game. David Clark with 2 touchdowns. Danya Lyons with the return. And Kason Campbell with 3 touchdowns. Maybe 4. There's a lot of points scored on this board. It'll be Scooter Hamilton at quarterback. RTC behind him to his right in the back stack.
And you can see
Davik and Munchie, top of your screen.
Mark Bagway at the top of your screen.
There's that rocket screen again.
Screen to David Clark. Clark will keep the ball and the clock moving. Clark will get brought down, out of play with 12 seconds left to go. Another first down. Timeout called by the Insomniacs, even though they went out of bounds.
I don't like the timeout there. Now, there's not much time left on the clock if that's an honest read of the clock with 9 seconds. So the timeout really doesn't even matter. You don't have the chance for 3 plays now. David Clark's fighting for extra yardage, but after he makes this initial catch and this initial burst, really all he gets is 5 yards for about 10 seconds, Matt. I don't know if that trade-off is exactly what the Insomniacs wanted, but it might not be harmful to the Insomniacs because 22 yards, then they're going to get 2 shots at it. They try to go RTC for the Baltimore special covered by H3 at the bottom of your screen.
Watch for the throw. Matt Riddick gets the stop.
Wow.
Can't get the pick, but it will be second down. Could have walked the half off there with the lead, but Riddick couldn't bring the ball down.
I think they call that a mulligan, that Scott Hamilton just cast the chip in. It's an Irish coin. Definitely got a 4-leaf clover on it. And the Insomniacs lucky to have another shot at the end zone here. He goes for the fade, but he's off his back foot. And he can't get the ball out in front of David Clark, who seems to be open.
6 seconds left to go. Timeout called by the BIC.
Olay talking to our white hat. As this game progresses, watch the feet of Scooter Hamilton. Now, he definitely has the arm strength and the savvy to make these things happen if he needs to throw off his back foot. But you saw there on an opportunity, in my opinion, at points, throwing off of his back foot means the ball was about 10 yards shorter than where he probably expected to place it. And that's the difference between what was an interception opportunity and 6 more points on the board to Davitt Clark. So, Matt, I'm going to be watching the footwork of the quarterback, Matt, as I always do, because I don't know what to say about Sterry Codrington running 4.2 speed, but I do know that when you throw the ball off your back foot, you're not giving your receiver the chance at the 6 that they needed.
The snap by Hamilton could be the last play of the half, and the up-top God brings it down with 1 second left.
And that's Carswell, who for the past 3 weeks has been able to say whatever he wants to whoever he wants, whether it's a camera, whether it's a fan, whether it's just a bystander catching strays, but he catches the perfectly thrown ball that time. Really, this is the air that Hamilton puts underneath it. Looks off the safety, even off his back foot, gives enough time for Carswell to make H3 Frazier have to get on his back foot paddle. I don't know, man.
On this play,
you got to cover better than that.
I would have Sterry Codrington on Carswell on this play, but right here, just because of the height alone of Carswell, just that timeout may have given the Insomniacs 6 more points.
Even a bigger, maybe hidden part of this game, Matt, the Insomniacs, after that walk-off touchdown of this first half, they get the ball at halftime as well with a 2-point lead, looking to make it 4, and Eric Schuford in the huddle to start this 1-point conversion from the oh no, it's RTC.
But ever since they've scored that first conversion, they have not been able to get there, and a flag on the play, and it looks like an illegal motion again on the offense.
Both of these teams chomping at the bit to get their offenses started. Everybody's got to get set before you call it.
And Hamilton will run back onto the field.
Well, now it's going to be a 1-pointer from the 10. And BIC needs to keep stopping these, because eventually, as high scoring of a game as this has been, Matt, more and more 2-pointers might equal an additional score if they go up by. And when all of these possessions have been tight and contentious, that's why the championship points matter in the long run, Matt. And this is a 1-pointer from the 10.
And I believe that was the last play of the first half. We're going to get a throw-off. Hamilton on the extra point. Cannot get it! The ball's popped up. Flag on the play. And they will
eligible.
They will not get there. Not eligible. We're trying to see what the call is.
And very rare we see a quarterback getting in the face of Surf, Rashad Knight.
No, they had a little bit of fun. I think they were joking to the sideline. Let's see the replay.
It's a little sloppy, but
Hamilton
we're gonna love
just
it.
could not get to where he was going.
And you see the little bit of talk after the play.
And we are at the end of our first half.
The extra point is no good.
Whoop. At halftime, your score, the Insomniacs 26, the BIC 24. When we return, we'll get you through how we got here so far. It's the A7FL Championship. We are back here live. Hi, how's it going? That's Corey. I'm Matt. This is the A7FL Championship. And at halftime, Insomniacs with a 2-point lead, Corey. It has been close and contentious since the opening bell.
Yeah, and both of these, we came into this game talking about the quarterbacks and how a year ago, both of these guys, same guys, struggled a little bit. Not so today. It's been the play of Sterry Codrington getting 24 on the board for his team, only matched by Scooter Hamilton. And both of these teams have tried to run the ball. And other than Sterry Codrington, both of these teams are looking for a way to get that side of their offense going. But it really hasn't mattered. Third down after third down after fourth down, Scott Hamilton is finding his open receiver and converting those downs that a quarterback must do. And Sterry Codrington making as many explosive plays as you'd need a quarterback to have. Here's the highlights.
Kason Campbell on the first drive would get the screen from the BIC. A penalty after that would see the BIC not able to get the blocks off on this first drive, Corey.
Yeah, Carswell.
They'd get stopped and stifled by Carswell and McQuaig in this defense.
And here's fourth down. And when he needs to throw it in front of his receiver on the cross route, that time it's behind, incomplete. Insomniacs are in business.
And then RTC Wilkerson, he walked into the dome today wearing a walking boot, but that has not stopped him. And then Davik Clark, some people might call him Davik, but that man is Davik putting his first.
He calls himself him.
He is Himothy, and Davik Clark getting his first touchdown of many on the day.
And you saw him do it there on the fade. And this has been the only completed championship point.
And ever since then, it has been based on, well, the 3-on-1 game. We call it the most exciting play in football for a reason. But here, Ashante Worthy was trying to be the first one to put 6 on the board.
There's that man, Carswell. You'll see him a lot.
Would not be able to get there, but it would set up for the BIC and their second drive.
And when Sterry needed to answer with an accurate pass, it's going to be him going not to Ashante Worthy, maybe the best playmaker in the league, but the #1 wide receiver by statistics in the league, number 21, Kason Campbell.
Campbell was such a huge weapon this season, walked in with touchdown records, receiving yard, total receptions records. He has been a standard bearer this year in the league, but on this 2nd and 5, it was Trey Robinson being met by his former teammates on the Insomniacs. And the running game, the battle in the trenches between the offensive and defensive line has been so key, but it sets up this throw to Kason Campbell, gets the afterburners on, won't get the 6, but gets the first down, Corey, and then the handoff to Robinson. Robinson would knock on the door. He would not be denied on a Sunday morning, and he would get in there and make this one 8-6.
Yeah, and that touchdown is the attitude. But here's the answer from the defensive line of the Insomniacs.
And
there goes that man.
Danye Lyons, a man who has been burning up defenders on the 3-on-1. On this one, Dwan Williams, Jamie Melendez, and Trey Cohen cannot catch that man. No matter the track, short field, long field, wide field, narrow field, that man will find his spot. Worthy tried to answer in kind here, Corey. And also, we're just over almost 2/3 of the way through the first quarter.
Yeah, and you're welcome for all of it. And then to answer Danye Lyons' pure speed, there's just pure balance and strength. Great tackle to end it, but Hollywood with his answer.
And Worthy has put his body on the line in this game and in this season. Codrington once more gets it to Kason Campbell, got under Carswell and gets right into big man's face, saying he head-topped him, but on the extra point attempt, not able to get there, not able to push it in, but on a huge 2nd and 17, Ole Bell stepping up on defense.
Yeah, but here's Scooter on 3rd and 18, and they've really needed this because of the momentum. And who does Scooter go to? It's Munch.
And then we head to the second quarter, and it would be a throw to Juice Robinson. And the BIC.
Now it's 4th down. We got to convert it. Who do we go to?
And when we return on the A7FL Championship, we will give you the stats and set the scene for a second half. The Insomniacs have a 2-point lead, and they get the ball at halftime. And as we've seen here, the offense has been a little inconsistent, Corey, and Sterry Codrington got a big run off of a 3-and-out from the Insomniacs, and he would slip, slide, and almost bring that one to the house. But it wouldn't be enough for a touchdown, but it would set up another scoring drive. Codrington getting it to Campbell one more time. He would not get into the end zone that time, but we see here again Codrington.
Just too much space.
And so comfortable, too. Just comfortable, gets it to Campbell. Another third touchdown of the day for Kason Campbell. And it has been hard to stop this man. Another extra point unfulfilled, but with 4:58 left to go, when we return here on the A7FL Championship, David Clark and the Insomniacs look to walk this one off. Can they go for the trilogy? We look at the stats. If you're watching on .tv, stay with the highlights. We're back live with the A7FL Championship on A7FL.tv. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Corey Hammond, and this is brought to you by Locker Room Chat. Drop a comment, get a shout out. Download the Locker Room Chat today at A7FL.com/chat. That's A7FL.com/chat. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond. We take a look at the stats so far today. The rushing yards and the return yards on the BIC side. The total yards is very close, Corey Hammond, but so is the score, 26-24. What's the one thing you think is the key for both of these teams heading into the second half?
Defensive lines have to make the quarterbacks uncomfortable because both of these guys right now are absolutely operating their offenses exactly the way they want. The difference in the rush yards, that's Derek Codrington. The difference in the pass yards, that's Scott Hamilton. And both of these teams are blocking when they need to for their guys, especially in situations like the David Clark rocket screen touchdown. But most importantly, what I've seen, Matt, is both of these quarterbacks, especially Scott Hamilton, are really comfortable airing the ball out against defenses that we would expect to have really good defensive backfields that we were told that were among the tops in the league. It's just the wide receivers have been better.
The world-class athletes on both sides of the ball. Kason Campbell and David Clark have stolen the show in this game, no doubt. To me, those are the two contenders for the MVP of this game. It'll be interesting to see how this one turns out. But as we get closer and closer to the second half, we want you to be a part of the conversation. Go to A7FL.com/chat. Make me use my phone. Make me look at my phone and see what you guys have to say. Drop a comment. Get a shout out. A7FL.com/chat. Corey, as we get closer and closer to halftime, it's our 11th A7FL Championship. What has been your favorite A7FL Championship moment so far?
In the existing history of this entire league, maybe talking to an NFL coach in Bullhead, but I'll say so far today's game has been the 3-on-1s because they're going to be among the most important plays based on not only last year, but all of the tight A7FL playoff games that we've witnessed, especially between these two teams. Daniel Lyons is amazing. But when Mark Bagway can take him out by throwing it out of bounds, that completely erases that opportunity for the Insomniacs to score points. I think look for that in the second half, but also look for a guy like Kason Campbell or Shantae Worthy potentially erasing a score from a diligent drive, because when you score on the 3-on-1, no time comes off the scoreboard, and you put 6 up to erase the drive.
When we return on the A7FL Championship, we start things off with the second half. It's time for the most exciting play in football and the most exciting game of the year. We're back with more next. We are live with the A7FL Championship. Mark Bagway looking to fade any doubt that the Trenton BIC are one of the best teams in football. And make sure your fade is protected with the GatorTech Shiesty. Go to GatorTech.com. Use the code A7FL25. And he catches that, and he had possession, but hits at the back of the end zone.
Yeah, you see how badly he wants the attempt because of how dangerous Danye Lyons can be. But that's, again, hidden yardage, Matt. Mark Bagway throwing it too far for Danye to return it means that you can't get those 6 points that, at least so far, Matt, have almost been automatic for the Insomniacs.
It has been their big weapon today when Scott Hamilton and RTC Wilkerson haven't been able to punch it in. Davitt Clark and Danye Lyons have been the answer, and they've been the answer the last 2 championships, Corey.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm looking at.
26-24 in the third quarter. It's your score.
In the box for BIC are run stoppers. Let's see what they do in the pass.
In motion to screen. Clark
there's the rocket
gets the
screen again.
And that one is a slide. Bagway has to get on his bicycle. Can he stop Clark? He can't. Touchdown, Insomniacs. It's an 8-point lead for the defending champions. And one more time, one quick play turns this one into a track meet.
Well, and it was the defensive alignment for BIC. Yes, it's nice to say Ole Bell, Big Mo, Kevin White, and Deontay Henderson with Rashad Knight in the box. But Matt Riddick gets that tiny block in the rocket screen, and on a shorter field, Davitt Clark is able to convert that easy throw into 6 for his team. I'm not sure why they're starting the play at the 15, but it looks like Insomniacs may go for the 1 point from the 5. It's just going to be Zach Luciano has to pick up the ball. There he goes. So they're going to go for the 1-pointer here. Now up by 8.
Trying to make huge, Matt. A 9-point lead.
That'll be a 2-score game if they can convert.
And a penalty on the Insomniacs.
I think that they had too many men in the huddle. So they're going to move them back 5 for that one-pointer. Again, this is how huge championship points are, Matt. Insomniacs score here. It is now a 2-score game. BIC cannot tie it with 1 possession.
Going for 1. They're going for 1 from the 10.
But if they stop them, they can tie it with 1 possession.
In motion. Flag, and it'll be another illegal motion. Another false start.
Yeah,
on the offense.
You've noticed when they've taken the starting quarterbacks out and put whoever in, whether it's a running back, a wide receiver, the procedure has been off. It's been illegal, Matt. That's what I called that. And it'll be now a one-pointer from the 15. And Scott Hamilton back in, likely to give his buddy, Eric Schufert, at the bottom of our screen, a chance. Maybe at a top shelf type of moment.
Hey, let's see it.
That's what I would do.
Biggest 1-point play of the day so far. Flag, Hamilton hit as he throws, and that is caught by Matt Riddick.
Again, a penalty, so we might have
False start on the offense again. That is declined.
They say it's on the quarterback. He moved back too quickly.
So the BIC get the stop, and Hamilton will walk off on the field, and it will remain an 8-point game, and Hamilton was hit as he was thrown.
Yeah. There's not much more room to get that ball where only Schufert can catch it, but it needs to be deeper than it was.
And if you want to unlock the potential of your content the same way we do at A7FL.tv, scan the QR code now or go to SEEN.com. That's SEEN.com and see what you can unlock with Scene.
There is 14:09 remaining in the third quarter. 14:09.
Ashanti Worthy on an time down, looking to go to the end zone, looking to make something happen, but will be brought down at the 20.
Yeah, great coverage again from the Insomniacs. You got to watch out for that man, Ashanti Worthy. And where Danye's been iced out of those deep throws, Ashanti or Kason Campbell have still had opportunities. It's up to the tacklers on the 3-on-1, but they stand tall there.
14:02 left in the third.
1st and 10. I see Courage out there as well as Trey Robinson. Courage has played a lot of tight ends so far.
And along with Campbell and Worthy, it'll be 3 on the line. Lash, Valley, and Courage Mosey. 2 wide receivers, and Robinson set to the left of Codrington. The handoff on 1st down, and Codrington will keep it. He is followed by McQuaig, and he will find himself out of bounds as they track the quarterback all the way to the sideline. It'll be 2nd and about 12.
And Sterry actually had a choice there. That's an option, a read option on A.J. McQuaig, but McQuaig is smart enough to play the quarterback all the way, and he forces the much quicker Sterry Codrington into a corner where he can't get away. Great defensive play from McQuaig, and maybe a bad read from Sterry Codrington, who could have just handed it off to Trey Robinson, but it brings up 2nd and 11 either way.
Right now, with the ability the Insomniacs have had for quick strikes, the BIC looking to walk things down, but Codrington will keep it. He will throw it wide open to Kason Campbell. Campbell gets past Danye Lyons. Can he get past the other defender? Brought down inside the 10-yard line. And again, Kason Campbell proving to be, if not the most valuable player in the league, the most valuable offensive player on the BIC offense.
He's going stride for stride with David Clark, and again, the formation messes it up. But I'll say this to both defenses. They are plugging up the box with tons of defenders, leaving one-on-one for all of these receivers who are absolutely smoking their defenders.
12:20 and counting on the clock. Is now
1st and 10, 12-16 left in the third quarter. Robinson, no. Codrington gets it to Campbell, and for the 4th time today, KK rocks him to sleep. Another touchdown for the BIC, but I'd say wake up, darling. It ain't time for bed yet. We got to get more on the board.
Kason Campbell gets a little bit more space on that slant. The ball is just, this is the play that set up the touchdown. Look how wide open on the miscommunication because of the bunch. Forces what should have been man coverage, but now Danye Lyons is forced to switch really late on a wide open case on Campbell. Sterry Codrington's been able to get that all day, but here, just a great catch in the face of a tip.
The BIC will look to tie.
No, they're only going for one from. Oh, no, they are going for two from the 10. Excuse me.
2 from the 10. Codrington steps up in trouble. Throws this one to Worthy, and that one will be too far.
Now
and
there is a penalty flag in the
Codrington
backfield.
is down.
Looks like it's going to be another roughing the passer.
And that's Moses Smith again, the young player finding himself getting wrapped up. So it will be half the distance to the goal, so a 2-point attempt from the 5 to tie this one up.
This is the championship point effect, Matt. It's going to be tied if they can get it. The Insomniacs are looking for the stop, but one of these teams has to start converting these to take the lead when they start to score these touchdowns. Both of these teams have found the way.
And if you're a fan wondering, short field, was it going to be a problem? No. We've had, this might be the highest scoring 3 quarters we've had in A7FL championship history. 32-30 is your score. Looking to tie it is Codrington. He gives it to Mark Bagway, and Bagway just runs it on in there, and Corey Hammond, we are tied. 32-32, 12:08 left to go in the third. We stay with the action, and Corey Hammond, we talk about the 3-on-1 being the most exciting play in football. So far, the championship points have been equaling that because they have so much at stake, and we saw that here. Running to the tire, trying to run through those doors is Mark Bagway.
Well, and the reason those plays have been working when they go with the jet sweep is because of the threat that Sterry Codrington poses as the potential counter. You have to stay honest and disciplined, because if you go out with the jet action, you're going to leave a seam for Sterry Codrington to take advantage. And that time they needed the 2, got the 2, and they're looking for another great throw from Bagway so that Danye Lyons has nowhere to go.
Bagway will launch this one. It is out of your view and hits the back of the dome.
Yeah, well, it was primed there, but off the back of the dome is plenty far enough to keep points off the board. 1st and 10 for the Insomniacs, and right now BIC has to figure out how they want to play this team, because yes, they do want to stop the run, but if they can't stop that rocket screen, the Insomniacs are going to score a lot more than just 32.
12:04 left to go in the third. Devontae Carter out there now as the running back. We've seen him in a few spots.
Then you see BIC still with those 5 in the box to stop the run. Their wide receivers are by themselves.
Riddick might feel a little, and there's the handoff. Met at the line, and he will get a moderate gain and be brought down inside the 20.
That's the exact same concept that Mark Bagway just converted the 2-pointer on. That's Shannon Allen, known as Prime, on the jet sweep. Shuford made the initial block on Kevin White to seal up the edge, but it's really just Prime kind of eating up the defenders there, getting as much as he can. That's a good 6-yard gain on 1st down.
And right now, the BIC defense on 2nd and 4. You can see Matt Riddick watching Shannon Allen. They will let Allen go. This one's intercepted by Matt Riddick. Matt Riddick spied the quarterback and finds a way to get the pick. It was intended for Shuford, but Matt Riddick had his eyes on it, chomped down, and takes the ball into momentum for the BIC.
Matt Riddick has the speed to make a lot of plays, and that's getting back for the interception he missed earlier. But really, it's the read. He sees what's happening as the play develops, and off his back foot, Eric Shuford thinks he has a chance at a touchdown. So did Scott Hamilton. Beep, beep. There's the Roadrunner running in full speed, and that's just a TNT explosion for BIC.
Much like the modern lovers, the BIC live off the Roadrunner. Matt Riddick with the play of the game so far.
The play of the game
Robinson
so far.
In motion. Codrington throws. Caught by Worthy! Ashante Worthy gets the first down!
Is that a Madden glitch? How did the ball go through Carswell's entire body? How does Ashante Worthy catch those plays, you might ask?
Sloppy Madden in real life. Shout out at Sloppy Madden. And if we take a look at the plays so far, 47 to 53 in terms of run and pass, the BIC have been running to the right 70% of the time.
Can't cover
passing
better
to the
than
left
that, Matt.
82% of the time. Thank you to Cole Gardella with those stats. The handoff to Robinson. Robinson, there's a flag. He finds himself in the end zone holding on the offense.
Well,
is he okay?
The ref got everything he could out of that touchdown call.
He's got a wrestling podcast. He's nice. He's not like the other wrestling podcasters. He's not an evil man.
And look, he goes down, but he calls the touchdown through the
shout out to
contact,
David
but the
Soberman
holding call will bring him
the
back.
Next level stats with the percentages. I want to thank our staff today, our director, David Soberman, our producer, Alex Soberman, our stats producer, Cole Gardella, making sure the highlights sing. He's my personal producer who produces results, Zach Morgan.
Decent
and
alternate
also making sure we stay on the air. He's okay, folks. But the man running the show, Ryan DePaul, and I want to thank them for riding with us this year and being a part of everybody here for the last 5 years.
First and goal.
9:45. Codrington.
Cunningham with the
Throws
pressure.
to the end zone. Cannot get there. Looking for a flag. Will not get it, and it will be second down.
Sterry Codrington makes the gesture, but he does not have yellow on his hip. At least on playing this
indicating
sport.
A flag. I believe he's making the universal football signal for flag.
Well, he's not going to get the call. Matt, most of the great plays in the air for BIC have been crossing routes from their wide receivers. I think the Insomniacs eventually are going to have to make an adjustment. Eric Schuford, where is he?
Second and goal. Codrington bounces. He will get on his bicycle. He will stop. He will stutter. And Sterry had to run it there. He was past the line of scrimmage. So it'll be a moderate gain and third down under 9 minutes in the third quarter.
An exciting no gain, but a no gain no matter what. And we saw Eric Schuford late have to cover the back stack of Mark Bagway. But credit the Insomniacs. They stay in their lanes. They stay poised. Even when Sterry Codrington breaks contain.
30 seconds in counting. 8 minutes, 30 seconds.
Here,
In the third quarter.
they're able to somehow get in front of him. Chris Cunningham has been an unsung hero today, doing his job at D-tackle, but it's third and goal. Ball at the 14-yard line.
The snap, Codrington throws this one, caught by Mark Bagway. Bagway stays up, tosses it back to Worthy, but he will be brought down. The play is whistled dead. They will call Worthy down, and there's a flag on the field.
I don't know what the flag is. It looked like there was tight coverage.
There was a flag before Bagway caught the ball, so unsure what that was.
And the pitch backwards looked backwards, so that should stay alive. But the call here is going to be important. This throw from Sterry Codrington looks dangerous, but when you know it's going to Mark Bagway,
it looked like it was going to Bagway or Ashanti.
It looked like it goes to Insomniac at first, Matt. I'm not going to lie to you. But Mark Bagway comes out there, makes sure. We might have to take a break.
We will take a break here. When we return, we have a player down on the field. We'll return with more action in just a moment. It's the A7FL Championship. You're tied 32-32. Third and goal. We're back with more next. (32-32) your score. And if you want to unlock the power of your AI video, but this is what we had on our last play. It'll be a first down for the BIC after the penalty. Ashanti Worthy.
The penalty originally
Injury.
looks like roughing or illegal defense on the corner on Bagway. That's Shuford. The lateral looks backwards.
Defensive holding was the call. Thank you so much to David Soberman getting that from our officials. I want to thank our officials today, Preston and Ryan Spadola, and also Will Franklin, and our big friend, the wrestling podcast gentleman, whose name I will get right in a moment. But 32-32 is your score. First and goal, Bagway. No one covering Mark Bagway. Bagway in motion. Bagway will keep it. Bagway looks for an option. Mark Bagway tosses it back to Sterry Condrington, and Condrington will break the tie, and the BIC will get on the board one more time, 38-32, and you never thought you'd see a play like that in the championship. Bagway getting it from Condrington back to Condrington.
Yeah, kids at home. Kids at home. Let's just start by saying this is bad fundamental football from Mark Bagway. Ball is not secured. That's a fumble risk.
I want them to run the replay back. I'm sorry, but when we go back to that point, Bagway ran so fast, Corey, he knocked the mouthpiece out of Sterry's mouth.
And Sterry's so fast that he was able to get it back in his mouth before the end of the play. But that is just the creativity, the artistic nature of Mark Bagway as we're going for a one-pointer from the 5.
Campbell! 39-32 your score, and we will keep the party rolling. And folks, if you want to get yourself a Danye Lions jersey or a Kason Campbell jersey or a jersey for your favorite team or a jersey for your team, go to tpg-sports.com. That's tpg-sports.com. And there's Mark Bagway to Kason Campbell. It's like you're playing an A7FL fantasy football game, Corey Hammond.
Yeah, BIC's roster certainly looks like that at times. But really, that's their first and best opportunity to get those championship points. But really, the touchdown is just the artistic nature in which Mark Bagway plays the game of football. Nothing is off limits because the game seems to slow down with the ball in his hands. And when the Insomniacs were all over the initial jet sweep, the cutback, which in many instances would be a "oh no," turns into an "oh yes" when you find Sterry Condrington, who also finds the end zone. How does Cole Gardello even score that?
I don't even know, but Bagway to throw it off with the BIC's biggest lead of the afternoon, and that one will hit the net in the back of the dome, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Insomniacs.
Mark Bagway's obviously made the plays so far that we've seen, but the hidden yardage of throwing that ball out of the end zone every time has completely erased the opportunities from Insomniacs returners to put points up on the board without taking time to clock off.
And yeah, we're not even halfway through the third quarter.
Nope.
It's 39-32.
And here's the extra point. That's Phil Jackson's triangle offense in the A7FL, Matt.
They hit him with the Tex winner. Watch watch Matt Riddick and David Clark. Watch for the screen. Can't get there. Shuford can't hold on to it, but there's the flag. Gallimore was on him, and that will be on the BIC, and the Insomniacs get a little help on the first play on the drive.
And guess what? It's really just the rocket screen, but the rocket screen action. And this play, or plays that look like it, have been deadly against BIC. Now, Kels Gallimore's covering it as good as you can. A little bit physical there. I'm not sure where the penalty is, but the Insomniacs for sure will take it. And they're on the move, 1st and 10.
We've talked about the football gods in the past. Oh, there it is. There it is. On 1st down, the throw by Hamilton. Tipped up and brought down by Riddick. No flag.
The ball could not have been thrown better. David Clark needs to catch that. He knows it. Talk about a touchdown opportunity. Scott Hamilton has been given the one-on-one coverage on David Clark, and almost every time he's made that decision, it's worked out. This time, that's tight coverage, but the ball's there.
And as we draw near the 6 o'clock hour in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond. The snap on 2nd and 10. The pressure, Hamilton hit as he throws, and Matt Riddick again! Another interception from Matt Riddick! Riddick gets around David Clark! The block is set! cake, but can they be Comfort Eagle, Corey? Can they be Comfort Eagle?
Wow. Here's the play. The play is made off screen before.
And just wait, take a look at this highlight. Matt Riddick, MVP candidate. We're back, and let's take a look at this last play, Corey Hammond.
It's the pressure. Because he has to throw from his back foot. The pressure from Isaac Negron means that the single coverage on David Clark really doesn't matter because the ball is not thrown far enough for it to be anything other than a Matt Riddick interception. And everybody on the defense is looking for a hat to put on a hat. But really, the last two turnovers that BIC has forced have been from pressure on the quarterback and rushed throws from Scott Hamilton.
Kason Campbell at the top of your screen. The toss to Worthy. Ashante Worthy tries to find his way around Courage Mosey in an emphatic tackle. And Worthy's line mate, Kason Campbell, this coming from our own Cole Gardella, Corey. Next time Kason catches a pass, he will break his own single game reception record. Next touchdown he catches, he will break the records for the most touchdown catches in a game.
Yeah, and the season just keeps on ticking and ticking because that's a record-breaking season for KK2. And this time they go shovel pass, the misdirection, the good yards.
In round 2 of this rivalry. The handoff to Courage Mosey, and Courage Mosey stays upright, bounces off 2 men. It'll be a light gain, it'll be second, and it'll be 3rd and 5 after the gain of 1. Trey Cohen will come back in.
Little bit of the old Ryan DePaul Bombers jet action dive, but the Insomniacs are all over it. Revis makes the initial contact, and it's Cunningham, who's been a handful for the offensive line of BIC. He's the one who cleans up at the end, but it'll bring up 3rd down, a huge 3rd down for the Insomniacs. They could use a stop here.
4:45 and counting on the clock.
Already down 7.
Codrington snaps the ball, rolls out, throws it. Can he get there? Courage Mosey into the end zone. Touchdown. The man that calls himself the GOAT puts the mask on one more time to cross the 45-yard point Rubicon. First man not named Kason Campbell to score today for the BIC. Touchdown, Trenton.
The play is made because the Insomniacs actually made the adjustment. They did a great job of covering the crossing routes from the wide receivers, but they forgot to keep an eye on the tight end leaking out of the backfield. Courage hasn't leaked out yet, does it at the perfect time, and an emphatic slam to take.
And watch
what
the feet.
now?
He made sure
13.
he crossed it.
Oh, Courage has been doing that as long as I've seen him play. And when you give an opportunity, he's going to say thanks to it too. 13 is the lead, looking to make it 14.
Can they get the 2-score lead? Campbell, they fake it, and K-Wack! Why you do that, K-Wack? Why you do that? 46-32. K-Wack does the dance, and it is now 46-32. What a winning hand for the BIC as they extend the lead, Corey Hammond.
And the story of the first half was that the defenses really couldn't make the stops. The story so far in the second half is that the BIC defense, specifically Matt Riddick, has made the turnovers happen when they need it. And much like last year, David Clark wide open on a kind of a trick situation. BIC leaks out their tight end. No one is over there to cover them. They covered the crossing routes finally, but somebody's got to cover Courage or it's going to be 6.
And that is why you study film. Courage Mosey, the legend, the Hall of Famer, the all-decade player, steps into the spotlight in another A7FL championship.
Well, Bagway better throw it because it's Danye Lyons back there at the back line looking to catch it and give himself a shot. Let's see if Mark Bagway gives it to him.
Bagway launches this one, and that is, again, hitting the back of the dome.
Keep that man's arm warm because that play is keeping points off the board. The Insomniacs need an answer. The pressure starting to get to Scott Hamilton, forcing the 2 turnovers. They might have to start running the ball again to keep that defensive line at bay, but they also might go back to that rocket screen, which has been working for them whenever they've called upon it.
And you can see Kenny Mack talking things over with RTC and Hamilton. Hamilton on 2 consecutive drives has thrown an interception to that man, number 22, Matt Riddick, at the bottom of your screen, covering David Clark. Hamilton with 3:48 and counting, hands the ball off to RTC. He bounces out and around. He's covered by Isaac Negron. Negron goes low and gets him right around the first down marker. And the BIC defense actually knows a gain of about 5, and it will be 2nd down. Sorry, from that angle, Corey, it is a little hard to see the yard markers from here.
But it was a great open field tackle because if Negron misses, Matt Riddick has done a great job with those interceptions, but he is in absolute retreat mode, and I don't see another BIC defender making this tackle. David Clark is blocking Riddick in front of him. That could have been a much bigger play, but it's a good gain on 1st down.
Hamilton keeps it, tosses it to RTC, and he will be brought down past the 1st down marker. Oh, and the Insomniacs will get the 1st down right around the 25-yard line.
You see the physicality A7FL football right there. No one more physical potentially than Ole Bell. They go speed option, Reed Isaac, but it's Mark Bagway coming in from the corner position, making sure it's not as big of a play as it could have been, but exactly what the Insomniacs want. Run the ball, get the 1st down, and they're moving.
2:35 and counting.
This is the setup for that rocket screen.
Hamilton throws this one deep downfield. Clark gets there. Touchdown, Insomniacs.
And that's the risk you take. One-on-one coverage of David Clark. Perfect throw from Scott Hamilton. Great way to bounce back after the previous throw was an interception on the same matchup. That time him past Matt Riddick.
And this is where the championship points come into play, Corey. David Clark with his third touchdown of the day.
And he's done it on the fades, he's done it on the rocket screens, but what he's done is take advantage of the one-on-one coverage when the passes have been there, and that time, the one-on-one goes to the Insomniacs. Looking to make this.
It's an 8-point game.
And they're going for the 1, so they're looking to make this a 7-point game if they convert, but even if they don't, it'll still be a single-score lead for BIC.
46-38.
RTC in the back stack, just off the screen to the right.
The defense throws the pressure, and they will get it. Eric Schuford crosses through, and the Insomniacs with their best drive of the 2nd half, Corey Hammond. It's just one play. It's just 3 plays. But it is 46-39, the BIC with the lead. We go to the replay.
And that's just Scooter finding his guy. That's the 2nd time they've converted championship points.
And if you want to be a part of the conversation, go to a7fl.com/chat. That's a7fl.com/chat. Ray Rich, the truth, calling this one a straight shootout. Trevor Narlock saying common BIC, the team with the least mistakes, are going to win this championship. I agree. Ashante Worthy will be back there for the BIC. And you can be a part of the conversation too. Go to a7fl.com/chat to download Locker Room Chat today. Worthy catches this one in the end zone. Ashante Worthy will get brought down at the 15. They called him down. They called him down.
No, they called him
Insomniacs ball.
not down.
Insomniacs ball. The whistle was blown, so we're trying to figure out. We heard the whistle blow. That means the play is dead. The
But
whistle
it's such a bang-bang play from the whistle. Even if they do call him down, maybe there is a hypothetical opportunity to look at the replay. Now, Ashante Worthy takes it out, trips up, and it's knocked out, in my opinion, before he reaches the ground. So we're going to look at this.
And we will take a look.
And where Bagway has made the plays from the 3-on-1, completely erasing an opportunity, Carswell that time throws it deep enough that he gives his coverage team a chance to stop Ashante Worthy and get the turnover.
Cannot cause a fumble.
I think, listen, I've been wrong on a lot of these replays this year, Matt. Not as prophetic as sometimes I can from this bird's eye view, but what it looked like is that the defender got his hand on the ball as Ashante Worthy is falling to the ground on the stumble. It's really a bang-bang play and will be determined by a replay.
The play is being reviewed right now.
Yeah, and I think this is about as big of a play. The turnovers are huge, obviously. And that touchdown at the end of the half gave the Insomniacs the lead. And when they got the ball, it took 2 interceptions for BIC to kind of change the momentum. But if this is a turnover, Matt, momentum is right back in play and maybe on the Insomniac side. And it's an uncharacteristic mistake from a guy, especially when a 3-on-1 opportunity is the play in question. Ashante Worthy is usually not the guy that makes that type of play, Matt.
He is not, and that's why I'm so surprised. And I heard the whistle indicate that, and I heard the whistle, which is why I said the play was dead.
I saw the ref, the closer ref, when he throws that black bean bag, what he's saying is
play's dead.
The play is in question.
Ryan Spadola and company talking this over. And we await what this call is. It's not an A7FL championship
without some kind of controversy. Now, regardless of the call on the field, whether it's right, unfair, whatever you want to call it, whatever this ruling is, both of these teams have to respond in kind.
Yeah.
Because excuses are not going to win this championship.
Preston Clipper and our official team talking things over. It looks like it might be it's BIC's ball. BIC's ball.
And that's a tough momentum shift.
And Will
because
Franklin
the Insomniacs were ready
with
to
Preston Clipper, but the call seems to be BIC football. It's the Vegas ref calling the BIC for the ball.
But the Insomniacs can't use this as an excuse. They just have to put their defense out there and play football.
Yeah.
Because whatever the ruling is the ruling. We can talk about it in the forums after the game, but right now, if they get a stop, that's what they need.
When Insomniacs bench looking up at us like, not my call. I just work here until the end of the game. It's not my call.
They're purposely blaming Matt Ryan. It's probably my fault, to be honest.
It's you're the replay official.
It's definitely Corey Hammond's fault.
Not my call. We're just literally just the announcers sitting in a Topgolf.
Well, they're allowed to be mad at whoever they are, and they could use it in motivation to get the ball back
BIC
anyway.
Ball. That's the call. The call from the officials is that it was an inadvertent whistle which set forth the calamity.
Yes.
The inadvertent whistle necessitates BIC's ball.
And here's the thing about an inadvertent whistle, Matt. It's basically an admission of the refs making a mistake. And mistakes do happen.
Yeah.
These guys are human beings. We've seen mistakes from both of the guys on each of these teams. And that's just something that the Insomniacs, if they're going to win this game, are going to have to overcome. Now, they have the stop made, forcing BIC into a long field for as short as this field is. And they need to be able to play the defense, make the stop if need be. But the call is going to be the call.
We're being asked what the call is and what the situation is. and we're uncertain of what's going on. We feel like we'll take a commercial break here to reset. We'll be back in a moment. It's the A7FL Championship, so of course there's controversy. You're going to want to see what happens as the days of our lives continue with all of our children on the BIC Insomniacs. Next. Back to where we are.
It's
this
so
play
close.
Is still under review.
It's so close. We have to make sure we get this right.
We're being looked at like it's our call when it's not our call. We're up here in the booth announcing the game, and it seems like.
Well, here's what's really happening for the fans at home, because we don't have to talk to the guys on the field even though they're mad at us. Everything that happens is so close. I saw a hand from an Insomniac get in and touch the ball, but is knee already down? Not sure. The momentum shift with where this call falls at the end of the day is so huge potentially that we are making sure that we have it right. Just for everyone's edification, or whatever word that is, right? Mm-hmm. There's guys next to me looking at the rule book specifically because there's a lot going on. We got to make sure, and whoever this call benefits is going to be happy, and whoever this call goes against is going to be really upset. It is that close, but I will remind both these teams as well as fans at home, whatever the call is, we have to keep moving forward. We have to keep playing football, and if the Insomniacs got to play defense, they might have the momentum if they have it in their minds that they do, because really the play is made stopping Ashanti Worthy, a playmaker, from getting anywhere on a 3-on-1. Whether he fumbles or not is huge, but if the defense that has to go out there, whether it's the Insomniacs to stop BIC or BIC stopping the Insomniacs, it's still just as big of a situation. Here's the replay one more time.
So you see, that's his hand. That's the ground hitting it. The ground. Ashanti Worthy's hand is underneath the ball.
Here's the better look. The hand does go in there to tip at it, but it's so close, and it's such a bang-bang play. It's hard to make a ruling either way, so what do we do when it's a tough ruling? We go back to the initial call. The confusion, I think, is that there was different calls from different refs at the exact same time as the play stops, and you can see here, ball is touched by 26, but is it touched and pushed out before his knee or elbow is down? That is the question that we're trying to answer.
We are still awaiting what the call is.
Listen, if you've watched the A7FL at any moment this year, last year, or in its history, when games matter, they do come down a lot of times to plays like this where it's a game of inches. And the most important stat, though, is that there is over a quarter and I'd say a third left. And eventually when we start this game again, Matt, whoever handles this low and gets right back into the momentum of the winning football that both of these teams have been playing, that's going to decide this game.
And it seems like we have come to a decision. BIC
First
ball.
down, BIC, and maybe rightfully so. The Insomniacs are upset. Maybe rightfully so. But here's the thing. If the refs call BIC ball, get their defense out there and make a stop, it doesn't matter.
It'll be 1st and 10, and the Zach Morgan Memorial Review booth has been broken into and set on fire, but it will be 1st and 10, BIC.
Well, again, can we give you a 100% clear explanation of what just happened?
No.
Yes. Yes, we could. Do you deserve it? No, it's 1st and 10. Let's watch some football.
I'd flip that, but Codrington out there with Mark Bagway. And he was down. Referee Preston Clipper reaffirming the call. He was down, but he was down on the ground.
All right.
They're affirming that Ashante Worthy was down, and that the whistle indicated that he was down.
Now we're clear. Let's go. First and 10.
2:18 left to go in the third. Bagway, no, it'll be kept by Codrington. Codrington with a little help from Courage Mosey sets up the block from Valley, and that'll be a first down for the BIC. Another solid carry from Sterry Codrington.
And when both of these teams have run the ball, the defenses have stopped them, except for when Sterry Codrington is taken off. So they fake the jet to Bagway there. The defense has to freeze. Credit Moses Smith for giving Courage a tough time at the edge, excuse me. But Sterry's still able to get 9 yards on 1st, 2nd and 1, BIC.
BIC will have Bagway and Kason Campbell. Campbell a reception and a touchdown away from individual records in both. Courage Mosey will keep it. Mosey on 2nd and 1 will get stopped behind the line, and that'll be...
It's Chris Cunningham and Eric Schufert all over that play.
3rd and 3.
Courage hasn't been able to get going except for that touchdown where he released from the tight end. But again, give credit to both of these defenses stopping the run when they've tried to. But on 3rd and about 3, BIC likely will put the ball in the hands of Sterry Codrington, giving him a run-pass option with some dangerous weapons out there in Kason Campbell and Ashante Worthy. Double tight look to give him protection. Single coverage, look for a crossing route from one of these receivers.
Campbell in motion. Codrington throws, caught. Does Ashante Worthy get the first down? And he's got the sideline. Worthy brought down at the inside the 25. First down, Trenton.
And the refs are telling them
continue to run, but
the play will be pulled back. False start again. That motion. False start. Again, the play is the same every single time BIC executes it. It's crossing route, accurate throw, Ashante Worthy, acceleration right there. But it was the motion and the failure for Kason Campbell to wait until the snap of the ball. The call from Sterry Codrington forces a 5-yard penalty and another shot. 3rd and now 9 for BIC. The Insomniacs catch a break there.
Not what you want, and this will probably be the last play of the 3rd quarter. You see Kason Campbell. If you're a lip reader, you know he's frustrated. And I think this is how we are going to end our 3rd quarter. BIC have to get the ball off. They do. Final play of the 3rd frame. Codrington on 3rd and 8. Codrington in his own end zone has to throw the ball, has to do something. Codrington behind center, and it'll be brought down, and it'll be the 4th and long when we return. We'll take a brief timeout. 3 quarters down, 15 minutes left to go. Can the BIC hold their lead for 15 minutes more, or will the defending back-to-back national champions pull off the upset? Scan the QR code now and get more protected with the Gator Skin Shiesty, and that is an A7FL punt. And that'll be down.
They say touchback.
It'll be a touchback, so it'll be from the 15. Tried to get that one at the 1, got as close as you can get.
Yeah, it looked like it could have been an inch yard line to go. But listen, we had a big stop in play for that potential fumble, whatever. But guess what the Insomniacs did? They used that frustration, turned it into a 3 and out, and now they sat the same chance that they did if they were to get the turnover, just now with a little bit further on the field to go. And David Clark still one-on-one coverage with Matt Riddick.
7-point lead. RTC on the screen, flag on the play and illegal motion. It'll be another false start on the offense, and they will set themselves up at the 10.
Both of these teams need to clean that up because the motions can be advantageous. But a 5-yard penalty on 1st and 10, not good when you're at the 15. Listen, there's a lot of matchups today. I think none are going to matter more than the single coverage from these corners for BIC playing the Insomniacs. BIC's consistently had 4 guys in the box to only the running back and 3 blockers for the Insomniacs.
Hamilton.
Now they go spread, but Deontay Henderson looks clearly man-on-man against RTC.
And watch Bagway, the screen. No, Hamilton gets hit! Hamilton! Ball's loose! RTC brought down at the goal line!
Not sure if that's a forward pass and an intentional grounding potentially, which is dangerous because if it's in the end zone, that's a safety. But if it is a fumble, they're lucky it wasn't a safety because RTC picks it up immediately after bounce. That could have been a touchdown.
We take a look here, Isaac Negron and then Ole Bell.
I mean, this to me is one of those, is it a forward pass? If it's a forward pass, it's intentional grounding. So that's what they call, but there is no penalty. Be 2nd and 15, and they avoid the loss in yardage.
From the 10-yard line. 4 on the line for the Insomniacs, the pressure. Hamilton throws this one deep downfield. Clark can't get there, no flag.
But there is another penalty flag in the backfield. I'm not sure what it's going to be.
It might
Kevin
be
White for BIC says holding. But I'm going to be honest, Matt, he's not wearing that zebra shirt. It doesn't matter.
And it is holding on the offense. It is declined. It'll be 3rd down.
Holding at the 10-yard line gets you back only about 5 yards. So they see the loss of the down on the incompletion as more advantageous than the loss of yardage. That's another one of those, Matt. That's another one of those one-on-ones. David Clark, Matt Riddick. Ball looked like it was pretty well thrown. It was tight coverage, just out of the reach of another David Clark touchdown. 3rd and 15, close to their own end zone. I'll remind you, Scott Hamilton already completed one of these today to Eric Munchie. Shuford, bottom of your screen.
The snap, Hamilton on 3rd and 15, swatted away by Matt Riddick again. The man known as Roadrunner.
And both of these guys are battling, and that's kind of become, at least on this side of the ball, the matchup to watch for. Because when it's Riddick that's one, the play is not going in the Insomniacs' direction. But whether it's the rocket screens, Riddick getting blocked, or David Clark getting the space on the touchdowns, that's been the matchup to watch, and it'll be 4th and 15. Insomniacs are going to send our 3-on-1 team. That's a well-thrown ball from Scott Hamilton. Just a better play with the closing speed from Matt Riddick.
Worthy looking to get across the 50-point Rubicon for the BIC.
Carswell needs to make sure he probably gets the ball out of bounds.
I feel like we are near the highest scoring A7FL championship in history, and that'll be called out at the 10-yard line. If not a little, they'll call it closer to the 15. It'll be 1st and 10 for the BIC. Might as well be a touchback for them.
Story of the first half, Matt, was offensive fireworks for both of these teams. Shout outs to our fans.
Yeah, shout out to everybody joining us in the Dome.
Those are BIC fans.
She is locked in.
Those are
She
BFC
is
fans
locked
probably
in.
a little bit nervous there. Some Insomniacs fans also on the edge of their seat.
Everybody enjoying some libations. Beautiful summer afternoon. It started out rainy, but temperatures climbing into the 90s. And there's the father of the A7FL, Gerald DePaul. I want to thank him, and I also want to shout out Tassie, Raylan, and Ashley. Nick Bird wants to say hello and that he loves you very much. Thank you for watching your first A7FL game today. And thank you if it's your first one. Trey Robinson on the carry. Robinson will bounce to the outside, and he will lose yards on the play, but the clock will continue to run. It'll be second down, and they have found a way to stop Trey Robinson, while not a lot of teams so far this season have been able to, Corey.
Yeah, the only runner that's really gotten space so far today has been a little bit of RTC for the Insomniacs, and Sterry Codrington for BIC. Chris Cunningham has been all over this game. His fingerprints, they'll show up if you dust for him. Trey Robinson almost lost the ball there. Shout out to Dadia Lyons trying to rip it out.
Both teams have solved the running game. If RTC was fully healthy, that'd be a different conversation possibly. Bagway in motion. He will keep it. No, Codrington will slip. He will slide. He is chased by Cunningham, and he is brought down for the first time today. And it will be third down, and the defenses here in the fourth quarter have been bending, not breaking, and standing up to the firepower of these offenses, Corey.
Yeah, the adjustments that both of these defensive, whether it's the coaching staff or the players on the field, they've made the adjustments that they need to force these offenses to now have to counter. And again, Cunningham has been almost impossible to block. And if you're catching Sterry Codrington from behind with that much field in front of him, you're going to get a pat on your back from your teammates.
10:45 and counting on the clock.
Now it's BIC with third and extremely long with their end zone very close.
Will we see 3 straight drives? Timeout called by the BIC, so they will stop, and we will keep rolling here after that timeout. Corey, right here, 3rd and 16. We've seen both teams meet the moment on 3rd and long, but also here, up by 7. You really have to do something as we see the fans here.
What BIC cannot do is turn the ball over here and give the Insomniacs a chance at not only the change in momentum, but an easy score. Sterry Codrington is more than capable on 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16 if he has to run, if given the chance. But Matt, all day for BIC, when they've needed yards, when they need a big play, it's the crossing routes from one side to the other that the Insomniacs really have no answer for.
And we'll see what they're able to do here. You see number 23. And hi, how's it going? What's up? We had no
how's
idea
the back of my
was coming
fade?
to us, but it'll be 3rd and goal. And there's a shout out to our camera team. 3rd and 16, 10.5 minutes left to go. Codrington snaps. Has time, throws this one. Ashante Worthy catches this one, breaks one tackle. It takes one more man to get him.
And there's really nothing special there about the separation on the route. It's really the coverage that dictated what Sterry Codrington chose to do in the situation. He gets to his back foot, plants, delivers the ball in the middle of the field, and really the route is just stay underneath the coverage because of how deep the corners were, because of how dangerous Ashante can be. He ends up being wide open, climbing the ladder on prime, and converting the first down.
To the line, BIC on first down, 9:52. Kason Campbell, they'll fake it underneath to Matt Riddick. Matt Riddick meeps himself for a quick gain of about 5, and it will be second down. They'll give him more than that, more about 6, and it will be second down.
And that's the difference on the Rocket screens. That one is stopped because the blockers in front of Riddick can't get to the 2nd and 3rd level. When that's been a Davitt Clark touchdown, the blocking has sealed the seam for their wide receiver to get through for the Insomniacs, but still a good gain. 2nd and a short 4, and the Insomniacs are looking and need a stop soon.
9:10 left to go, 2nd and 4. The Insomniacs looking to get this back. Trey Robinson bounces off his own man and gets stopped behind the line. It'll be 3rd and 5 for the BIC as the Insomniacs have again stopped Robinson behind the line.
He's got a touchdown early, and he was stopped on that play. It was just a fight to get across the goal line. But I really haven't seen any room for running backs for BIC in the run game. The defensive line of A.J. McQuaig, Cunningham, and right now Smith, who's been rotating, but also Jeremy Revis, they've come to play.
Worthy in motion, snap, Codrington steps up, will roll out. He will have to outpace McQuaig. He does the first time, he gets the first down.
I think he made the first down there by putting his nose down, making the hesitation move. The spot is going to be shorter than Terry Codrington would like, but it's still going to be extremely close to the first down marker. Spadola puts up the 4, might be a 4th and inches.
And it'll be 4th and really
Cunningham
close.
Again, too much. But it's Sterry's speed, too much for McQuaig. Puts his nose down. I think he gets past. Nope, honestly looks like a good spot. If I'm BIC, I'm not wasting the time out on that.
Yeah, I'm not burning a challenge on
but
that.
But what they have not been able to do is in situations there they need this short yardage, get it by running the ball.
And it seems like they will have Courage mosey
but they're
in
going to ask Courage. They're going to ask Courage to do it, Matt.
Flag on the play.
Delay of game
on the
offense.
So it'll be 4th and 5.
And that's the unforced error that in the Insomniacs needed. Now, they have a real good shot at 4th and inches to stop this. But with the delay in choosing what play to go with, after a short argument from the quarterback trying to fight for a better spot, you run out of time, rush to the line, and Courage isn't able to call it, so it'll be a pivotal, Matt, 4th and 6 for BIC. The Insomniacs so far really standing tall when they need to. They're going to need to make one more play, at least on this drive, Matt.
Campbell in motion. The snap, Codrington throws this one to Riddick. Riddick pulls it in. Touchdown, BIC.
Matt Riddick with the interceptions. Now Matt Riddick with the post. Up top, touchdown. The explosive speed. And past the defense for the score on 4th down. Great throw from Sterry Codrington. Better route and catch from Matt Riddick.
And watch here again on the replay, Lash and Valley.
The key is here, for the first time most of this game, Cunningham is stopped from getting penetration, and the ball is thrown perfectly.
And he had KK there too, but he saw the touchdown, wanted to go for the 6. Makes it, increases the lead, gets them over 52. Gets them to 52, 52-39 your score, 13-point lead.
Go for 1 from the 5.
Codrington throws this one, and there's Kason Campbell.
Shakes himself out of his own shoes.
He is fast, he is furious, and we will take a timeout. When we return with the A7FL Championship, the Insomniacs need to answer. If you're watching this, you're entertained, and you want to be a part of it, A7FL.com/owners, join us. Danye Lyons will receive this one. Shannon Allen's been receiving it most of the year, but that one will go into the back net. Doesn't matter who's returning it back there. It's been Shannon Allen, Carswell, Danye Lyons. Ever since Mark Bagway's been throwing it off here, it has been all him. And if you want to be a part of the A7FL, if you want to entice April's only son to your city to play on your team, go to a7fl.com/owners. That's a7fl.com/owners.
I was talking with Cole Gardella, our stats guy, in the break. The Insomniacs have come down back from more total points than this. But this late in the game, this is the biggest fourth quarter comeback that they're going to have to surmount if they want to walk away three-time champs. Still single coverage, top of your screen, Riddick, Davik.
One more touchdown, and this is the highest scoring A7FL championship game ever. A light gain there from RTC Wilkerson. This is where you've been sparing him a majority of the game, Corey. Is this the time where you just go, break glass, just run RTC until that third championship is yours?
Well, part of me tells me that them continuing to run the ball, they're not panicking. They still got plenty of time left. But their most successful plays have been when they've taken advantage of the one-on-one coverage.
RTC,
the block from Scooter.
He keeps this, he carries this one, and RTC will be brought down across midfield at the 25 by Isaac Negron.
Not a lot of quarterbacks, Matt, in this league are going to be able to put up the passing numbers that Scott Hamilton does on a week-in, week-out basis. No better evidence than in the semifinal game in which he broke the record with 8 touchdown passes. But I could tell you 0 quarterbacks are making this seal block for their running back like Scott Hamilton does there.
That was impressive. And they will do this full house one more time. And that'll be RTC trying to cross through, but he's met by Ole Bell and brought down near the goal line. And right now, RTC might be starting to feel a bit of that injury.
Well, after that long run, which he maybe thought that it was 6 for him if he gets a couple more steps, credit Isaac Negron for hunting them down from behind. It looks like they're going to give him a breather here after the first down. But it was a good adjustment at the edge to force the cutback.
Second down. Hamilton to the end zone, almost picked off again by Riddick. He was right there waiting for the receiver, and it will be third down.
Not a lot of corners play the way Matt Riddick does on that fade route. He doesn't turn or swivel his hips, Matt. That's the kind of athleticism that he has. He's in a back pedal the whole time, so he can locate the ball even before the wide receiver Carswell. And although the ball was thrown perfectly up top chicken box, it's knocked away. And it'll be third and long for the Insomniacs after the first 2 runs from RTC got them in position.
4:36 left to go. Third down, Hamilton, incomplete.
That time he goes to his go-to guy on third down on the timing route. The first time he's been off target to Eric Schuford.
Down. And you can see.
Tick, tick, tick. The clock is still running at this point. It won't stop on an incompletion until under 2 minutes.
And you can see the fans, BIC fans, Insomniacs fans. I see the Ramadan family.
And they're celebrating their daughter's birthday, and every birthday that she celebrates, she just shows the type of fight.
Happy birthday, Sema. Sema strong.
4 minutes and
her father learns from her, Matt.
Exactly. The pressure on 4th and 11. Biggest play of the game. Can he do it one more time? Matt Riddick with his third interception. He is still in bounds. Matt Riddick will find himself out of play near midfield. And Scott Hamilton has given up his third interception, all of them to Matt Riddick. And if you walked into today saying Matt Riddick was going to be the MVP, you're prophetic. 3:39 left to go in this one. Can the BIC shut the door and win title number 3? We find out next.
Here's the replay, Matt. Pressure forces the errant throw. It's not on Scott Hamilton. There's nothing he can do. He's got to give somebody a chance. It's really on the pass rush and Matt Riddick, who in the second half have turned the ball over for their team. Pretty close to getting there.
And if you want to talk about this, A7FL.com/chat. Codrington with 2 men in the backfield. Lions playing worthy, man-to-man. Play action, Codrington will keep it. Codrington will bounce behind Valley. He will get a slight gain, and he will be brought down near us at midfield at the 31, and it will be second down.
3 timeouts for the Insomniacs. They're running out of time, but there still is time.
Player down. Oh, no, down is good.
5 yards is too much you want on first down, but if they get it 3 and out, they still have chances because the rule now in the A7FL is there is the get back. There is an onside opportunity. But what BIC wants to do now is just chip away at that clock, get it to the 2-point conversion, and see what they can do on third down.
2:30 left to go.
Pretty
BIC.
much, Matt. One first down is pretty much it if BIC is able to get it. But BIC can't turn the ball over.
Flag delay of game on the offense. So with 2:14 left to go, it'll go from 2nd and 5 to 2nd and 15.
Now they erase the yardage gained.
2nd and 10, pardon me.
They erase the yardage gained with the penalty, but really it'll still work out with the same clock. After this play, it will be the 2-minute warning, and the Insomniacs will have to start to consider using their timeouts.
And that will be the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning here in the Dome with 2 minutes left to go. 53-39 is your score. And we will take a timeout at the 2-minute warning. When we return, we will decide who will be the A7FL champion. Will the Trenton BIC get their money back in blood, or will the Insomniacs pull off an improbable comeback and finalize their dynasty? Two-minute warning, and we look back at what might be the most pivotal play in the next decade of the A7FL.
One of the guys
Bell
making
and
it,
Matt Riddick.
Yeah, one of the guys making it, Matt, was the dive. You see the effort from Ole Bell. Yes, BIC has won a championship before, but that man, Ole Bell, has never been on the winning side of an A7FL championship game. He's putting his work in there.
And if you want to get taped up like a pro, professional athletic training services available to all athletes, no matter the sport or the age. Go to tapemeup.net, that's tapemeup.net, or scan the QR code now and join us and get taped up like a pro. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond, and our 6th and, well, final A7FL championship game together. And it has certainly been a heart-racing, pulse-pounding affair as the Trenton BIC are 2 minutes away from their 3rd national championship. At the start of the program, we showed you as we enjoyed the ride to our championship, one in 2016 and 2022. The Insomniacs have won the last 2 seasons.
An interesting move here. Sterry Codrington out, Mark Bagway in at quarterback for BIC.
Bagway looking for revenge himself for losing in the 23 championship. Mark Bagway showing what he did in 2023. Mark Bagway will slide down.
And it was a designed Mark Bagway. That was just the play call just Mark
Timeout call by the
Bagway.
Insomniacs. Timeout call by the Insomniacs.
The entire way, it was going to be nothing but Mark Bagway running around. He makes the guy, the only guy in the backfield, miss. And what normally, Matt, I would say is a dangerous play, holding the ball the way that Mark Bagway does not matter when you're able to swim over Moses and accelerate for a first down, staying in bounds. Now the clock stops.
Because it is under 2 minutes and he went out of play, and the Insomniacs did call a timeout.
But unless BIC throws the ball here and it's an incompletion after third down, Insomniacs can't stop the clock.
The handoff. That's Courage Mosey! Courage Mosey bounces, and
Better
he
hold
may
that
not
ball.
get the first down, but he will get stopped at the 15. A solid gain there by Courage Mosey, and it will be second down.
And you saw the look there from Courage. He's a vet, and he knows what almost just happened.
That's their second charge timeout for the Insomniacs. Their second charge timeout with 1:49 left to go.
It's a good gain. Forced the timeout. But really, Insomniacs now, if they want to win this game, they got to rip the ball out of one of BIC's ball carriers' hands. So if you're a BIC player and you want this game to end with this score looking the way that it does, you better protect that football. Both of those last two plays, Matt, have worked out. But if the Insomniacs just swipe just the right angle, Bagway or Courage could have fumbled.
1:49 left to go. 2nd and 6. The handoff to Mosey. Mosey will push through. He will get the first down, and he will be brought down at the 5. 1:42 left to go, and another timeout charged by the Insomniacs.
And if I'm not mistaken, that is the final timeout.
Timeout, Insomniacs.
And that's the last time that they can stop the clock. Now, the Insomniacs could do with the old let them score thing and try to get 2 getbacks. There is a path. But right now, BIC sitting as comfortable as they have this entire game, looking to get that all-needed revenge from last year's championship, in which it felt like they had it last year too.
And then it all got pulled out of their hands by Eric Schuford, but instead of it being Eric Schuford this year, it was the Roadrunner, Matt Riddick.
1:42 remaining on the clock. 1:42.
1:42 left to go. 2nd and 6. 1 timeout remaining for the for the Insomniacs.
Now, they're down by 14 points, 2 scores. They can allow for an easy touchdown here, but really what they're looking for is a fumble.
The handoff again to Courage, and there's a fumble. Not what they wanted on first down, but the clock will continue to run. That is the final timeout by the Insomniacs with 1:36 left to go, and it will be it'll be second down.
Excuse me, that is their last timeout, and now all but sealed. It's getting a little sketchy there if you're fumbling handoffs back there.
They'll switch Isaac Negron out.
You could sense the weight of the moment on these two teams, especially on the offense for BIC, fumbling a handoff. Insomniacs are going to be ball hunting here, ripping at the ball. This stadium can sense where this game is likely headed, but there still is a path for the Insomniacs, albeit slim. And now Big Mook is in the backfield with 3 digits.
2 teams staring history in the face with 96 seconds left to go in the A7FL Championship. Matt Ryan joined alongside Corey Hammond. The handoff to Big Mook. Big Mook pushes the pile, and it will be third down with 90 seconds left to go. And it will be 3rd and goal for the BIC at the 2.
Now
Clock will continue to run here.
If they stop them on 4th down, they may have a couple of seconds. The Insomniacs really with the prayers chance might be considering letting them score here. But if they do so, BIC might just take a knee.
It is now
1 minute remaining in this one.
1 minute 5 seconds.
Under a minute left to go in the A7FL Championship. It is 3rd and goal The handoff to Big Mook. Big Mook gets stopped at the line. He will keep the ball, but it will be 4th down. The clock will continue to run, and there will be about 15 seconds or so, depending on how this goes for the BIC.
Now, I don't know if they purposely take a delay of game here.
30 seconds and counting.
But
30 seconds and counting.
To be clear, they're up by a comfortable 14-point lead. But in the A7FL, if somehow the Insomniacs are able to score with time left on the clock, there is the rule of the get back.
But that's a tough rule for them. They would have to score really quick on that untimed down, and there it is, the delay of game penalty on the BIC.
And they'll take the penalty with 12 seconds left. They won't be able to completely avoid giving the ball back to the Insomniacs unless they choose to just run back and forth for 12 seconds. That's a long time. But really, BIC's only eyes are on that 12 seconds because that's the only thing standing in their way of hoisting the trophy.
The Nightcrawlers couldn't do it. The BIC couldn't do it a year ago. The Insomniacs run has been historic. Up there with the Patterson U as the only teams in A7FL history to go back-to-back in the modern era. And it was the Trenton BIC who were the ones who stopped them. And 6. Matt Riddick will run this one around, and they will have a little bit of fun as the A7FL championship will see the Trenton BIC bring the championship back home to New Jersey. They wanted their money back in blood, and they got it. Your final score, the Trenton BIC 53, the Las Vegas Insomniacs 39. Two teams that deserve to be at the top of the mountain, but at the end of it all, only one could stand tall. And finally, some home cooking pays off for Kenny Stansberry. When we return, we will present the championship and the MVP with the trophy. This has been the A7FL Championship. We will be back with more after this. Stay right where you are. The BIC back on top. Corey Hammond, the BIC did it.
They absolutely did, and it's a 14-point spread. To be honest, the Insomniacs are two-time champions. They'll always be champions, and they played a championship caliber game today. It just wasn't enough in those crucial moments. They were so close, and when they look back on it, they change one play here, one play there, avoid Matt Riddick maybe, and they walk out of here three-time champs. But it's BIC dealing with the heartbreak for a full year on the way that they lost the championship last year. And they did it, Matt. This is their goal all season. Tough way to have a season start, knowing the only chance of success is beating everybody you play. But check off all of the marks. Give them the trophy, Matt. They've done it.
They have Corey, and to say this is the culmination of a year's work would be a lie. 2 years, 3 years, 6 years, 11 years for the Trenton BIC. This was a journey that could live and last a lifetime. And so has been the last 6 years joining with you here in the booth. For every person I've shared a booth with, alongside Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond, Corey, it's been an honor of my life, buddy.
Hey, man.
I love you.
Don't know what we're going to do.
But for all of us here at the A7FL, we thank you, we love you, we will see you next season. Your mom's box.